Welcome to a very special edition of Big Fight Guide. It is the week of Valentine's Day and violence. We have a very special edition, Wednesday night fights, special feature on a Friday night. If you looked at your calendar this morning, you realize it's Friday, and yet we have fights, but it's still a Wednesday night fight series. I am Chris Algieri. This is Paulie Malignaggi in studio with me, and we are joined by the illustrious cast of Showtime Sean Porter and George Jakovic. And we're talking fights. George, what do we got?
We have got a great card on Friday, Chris, and we're going up against ESPN. ESPN has their own card. They've got a championship fight. But guess what? We have got two guys in the main event ranked in the top 10. We've got young phenoms. We've got veterans trying to get a shot. We have a little bit of everything on our card. You see what ESPN has? They have O'Shaquie Foster, who has become must-see TV against Abraham Supernova. But listen, we're here to talk ProBox TV, Wednesday night fights on a Friday. That's what we're here to do. And Sean Porter, we're going to start off with the first fight. It's an 18-year-old kid from Vegas. You may have run into him. They call him the King. Yeah. Robert Meriwether. He's fighting Carlos Rocha in a 4-round super featherweight fight. Tell us something about these young fighters who, I mean, he's 18 years old, 4 fights. He's just starting out. So it's a special thing when you're that age and you have a platform like this.
Absolutely. I've always been an advocate for the amateur system. Get as much as you can before you turn pro. I like to see a lot of the young guys stay amateur a little longer, grow into your man strength. The list goes on. This kid right here, Meriwether, not to be confused with Mayweather, but he trains at the Mayweather gym. Anybody who comes in that's close to his weight, and what was he fighting, like 130?
Yeah, 130.
Anybody between 118 and 150, he's getting in the ring with them and he's busting them up. I've seen it personally. The kid is lights out. He's only 18, so he's got room to grow. He loves it. He loves what he does. He loves being around the energy of boxing. He's a gym rat. And look to see him come into the ring on Friday night and really light it up. This is what I hate for a kid this early in his career. I want to see more people in front of him watching him fight. People who are on the app, they're going to get on the app and watch. But usually when you're young, you're 4-0, 5-0, you're fighting in front of almost nobody. This kid should be fighting in front of a lot of people, and I think that ProBox, you guys are going to get him to a level where he can do that sooner than he normally would. So, look to see him really light up the ring and get it hot for whoever else is getting in the ring.
Paulie, he's 18, and his nickname is the King, so that says something right there.
Yeah. I mean, listen, nicknames have a tendency to, you need a descriptive nickname, something that stands out, something that really describes you. But nonetheless, I want to go off of what Sean just said. Champ, you were mentioning about the need for these young fighters to fight in front of an audience, and a lot of times you're buried on deep undercards, and you don't really get the eyes and the notoriety on you that you should. And that's why when you're a prospect, TV dates are so important. When you're a prospect, fighting on TV is important, not just because obviously the money's more guaranteed when TV networks put money behind it, but also the fact that you get eyes from all over the place on you. That's a very important thing, because you want to, every time you have a chance to get more eyes on you, you have a chance to shine more, and taking advantage of those opportunities when you're on TV to shine and look the part makes people talk. It creates momentum, and then it creates more demand off that momentum, and so on and so forth. So Meriwether, 4-0 with 2 knockouts. He is a prospect who's talked about in a very positive light. We got to talk to him after one of our shows recently. Very polite kid, $1 million smile. But, for all intents and purposes, the word on him is he can fight. He's a lights-out type of fighter, very, very terrific talent. So he's got the $1 million smile. What did they say in that Legendary Nights series you had, George, when I forgot which guy it was, but he was I think it was Wiley. He was describing Ray Leonard. Some guys got a wink, some guys got a wink and a smile. And that's Meriwether reminds me of that. If he fights as good as the accolades on him and the word on him is, and he's already got that wink and smile kind of attitude towards him. He's very, very what's the word I'm looking for? Personable, personable kid,
Definitely.
and a likable kid. And if he can fight like this, I mean, he's got that promotability to him. So we look forward to having him at ProBox TV. I think fans will enjoy getting to see him as well. And again, TV dates are so important, and that's for a prospect like him, this will be a big opportunity.
Yeah, Paulie, we got a chance to interview him live on air with our partner Mike Goldberg after one of our shows, and absolutely, I mean, he was very charismatic. He definitely had personality, and coming off of someone that we've heard so much about in terms of what he's done in the gym, Sean, you're speaking to it. Speaking words of power here, that you've actually seen it, you know. So we're very excited to have him on air and have him showcase his skill set. It's crazy that he's 18 years old and he's going to be fighting in Pro Box. And Sean, you had mentioned the exposure that these young athletes generally don't get. Well, he's going to get it on Friday night on our air, because our studio gets full, our arena gets full very, very early on. People that come to our fights understand boxing. They understand that there is a show and a spectacle, and we put on good fights from beginning to end. So he's going to have a ton of people there to perform in front of, which I think is really important for the development of these young guys.
Yeah, the 18-year-old Robert Meriwether, they call him the King. We had a chance to talk to him, and this is what he had to say.
That's actually before I was even born, my dad wanted to name me King, but you know, a little discrepancy with that. But you know, with boxing, we decided to go ahead with King because I feel like I'm a king, you know, inside and outside the ring, and I carry myself as a king. A very active ear. I want to be in the ring as much as possible, showcasing my talent and proving to everybody that I belong where I am. That's very exciting to have world champions, you know, not just commentating, but breaking down my fights and also studying and watching my fights and seeing how I progress through my career. His name is Carlos Rocha, but he's from Brazil. He's a cool boxer. He's orthodox. You know, I can see the flaws he has, and I'm gonna exploit him come Friday, the 16th. Come see me put on a boxing, you know, clinic, outstanding performance, you know, of boxing skill and talent. You're going to see a great jab, great defense, and also a great offense.
Anyone nicknamed the King, I can't wait to see fight. 18 years old, so we are expecting great things from him. Next fight we're going to break down, Sean. This is one of those intriguing fights. You've got an unbeaten Joeshon James against the veteran Vaughn Alexander. This is a middleweight fight. And Sean, this is one of those fights. You got this undefeated younger fighter up against the veteran. And I'll tell you what, Vaughn Alexander lost his last fight. He's been matched tough in his career, but Joeshon James had better be ready because Vaughn Alexander is going to bring it come fight night.
Yeah, I have a feeling that they were trying to fast track Vaughn based on, you know, him coming out of the situations that he was in, turning pro late and things of that nature. I think that they were trying to get him to a championship fight quickly, and it just didn't pan out. Nonetheless, the dude's got a lot of experience. That is always the equalizer against a young prospect. And then on top of that, a lot of power in the ring as well. On both sides of the ring, of course, but a lot of power coming from Vaughn. And I know a lot of power coming from Shuntom right there as well. So that's going to be an action-packed fight. It's going to be some heavy heat thrown. And I don't think that one's going to go the distance.
And Paulie, we've been talking about this card, how you've got young phenoms, you've got veterans, you've got guys looking to make a name. This is one of those fights. It's the younger fighter versus the older fighter.
Yeah, and then Joeshon is a guy who's again got a lot of momentum behind him. He's a prospect. Speaking of fast track, he's trying to get on that fast track himself, and he's been looking impressive. And so getting to that stage where you're fighting these veteran types that have the experience and they have kind of world-class talent, but maybe they may have come up just short. That's sort of that next stage in that developmental aspect for a guy like Joeshon James. And so I think Vaughn Alexander is coming at a great time for him. Vaughn, on the other hand, like I said, like Champ Sean was saying, you know, he's turned pro a little bit late for some circumstances that were out of his control. But nonetheless, you know, he's Devin Alexander's older brother. He comes from a boxing family. Devin Alexander, the former world world champion. So he comes from a boxing family. He's been at it since he was young, since the amateurs, and had a very stellar amateur career himself. So he comes with a boatload of experience, be it in the amateurs and the pros. So certainly a step up for Joeshon James, and that's what we like to see here at ProBox TV, man. We don't want to give you any cupcakes or gimmies, even if you're a prospect. So a fight where we can sort of look at the crossroads for these two guys as well.
James has those 2 draws on his record. When you look at his record, one of those was on a Top Rank show against Javier Martinez, who's signed by Top Rank. So take what you will from that fight. He fought another undefeated fighter, got a draw there. So he is undefeated. He has those 2 draws, but they're against undefeated fighters. So this guy has been in tough, and he's in tough once again tonight because Vaughn Alexander has a world of experience, and experience is one of those attributes that it's really hard to put a finger on how important it can be. I think we're in for a really good fight.
What's up, everybody? It's Teofimo Lopez, The Takeover, and you're watching ProBox TV on the Boxing Channel. Let's go.
Well, this promises to be another intriguing fight. We talked to Mr. James, and this is what he had to say to us.
Oh, man. Name Joeshon James. My record is 8 wins, 2 draws, 5 knockouts. Those draws were bullshit, so I'm really 10-0, but we get to that another time. But what type of fighter I am, I'm an adapter. I can adapt to any style, and I can box, and I can fight on the inside. I throw a lot of guys off. They don't find out that they made a mistake until they're actually in the ring with me. So I think I'm the most ducked at middleweight. Oh, man, February 16th, next week is going down. I'm fighting Vaughn Alexander, tough, rugged veteran. I actually didn't know Devin Alexander had a brother until now, but I grew up watching Devin Alexander, so it's crazy that it's come around full circle and I'm fighting his brother. So it just makes it that much more sweet once I put him away. I'm looking to get him out early. He shouldn't last too many rounds with me. I've been training since November, so I'm ready to punch somebody in the face and get him out of there early. A few of my peers have been fighting on ProBox, and it's a big growing network, and it's getting pretty big. They're everywhere, and I don't know too much about fighting on ProBox. I just know I gotta go in there, and I have a job to do. So I just gotta go in there and have fun and have fun with ProBox. Man, they can expect fireworks, peer boxing, taking back to the old school fighting, the Tommy Hearns and the Sugar Ray Leonards, and you don't know what round is going to end in. So this is exciting, and it's just something different. I know I'm a fighter and everything, but I know I'm different in there. Once I'm in there, you kind of get a breath of that old school fighting. So I'm looking to bring an exciting fight. Oh, man, I just want to fight the best. You call me out, I'll call you out. Let's fight next week in the phone booth. Let's not duck each other for 2-3 years. Let's get it on. Let's get the fans what they want right now. As soon as possible. So I'm just looking to make those great fights happen. Thank you.
Boy, anyone who talks about the old school fighters, I'm a fan of. So this is, again, another intriguing fight. The young fighter on the rise against the veteran who is going to bring it. Vaughn Alexander's 38, so he has got to bring it in this fight. Wednesday night fights on a Friday. Everybody is talking about ProBox TV, including one of the best fighters in the world, Teofimo Lopez.
What's up, everybody? It's Teofimo Lopez, The Takeover, and you're watching ProBox TV on the Boxing Channel. Let's go.
Like we said, Friday night, it is going down. Wednesday night fights on a Friday. We're going up against ESPN. But look at this card we've got. Like I said, we've got ranked contenders. Picazo and Cardenas are looking for a title shot. We've got young phenoms. We've got veterans looking to stay and remain relevant in the sport. ProBox TV is where it's at. Friday night, tonight, the fights are going down. Look at Sean Porter. Look at the excitement on his face. Look at that right now. Hey, Sean.
I'm gonna express myself because I've said this something. I hate when boxing competes against boxing. You got so many other sports to compete against, and I get it. Like ProBox, you had to move. Today's Valentine's Day, and for the life of me, people will rather celebrate love than watch boxing. What the heck? Nah. this is one of those situations where you got to flip back and forth. You can't miss O'Shaquie Foster. It is what it is. But along the way, you can certainly be checking out ProBox TV and looking to see what's coming next. Let's keep it real. Like whatever's on ProBox TV, eventually you're going to see those guys in the elite categories against the best at some point. So. And hopefully we see them then on ProBox TV. That of course is the goal, I'm sure, for ProBox TV. Until then, you put on great fights, you try to compete against ESPN, and you show that, hey, we got what it takes. We can do our thing over here, and you get people. That's how people buy in. They flipping back and forth, and then eventually you just slow down and you stay on one channel. So.
We're on an hour earlier tonight. We go on at 8. ESPN goes on at 9. So you check out guys like Meriwether. Before the ESPN goes on the air, the ESPN card goes on the air anyway.
And to your point, Sean, I mean, usually it is a Wednesday night, and we do it on a Wednesday because no one else does boxing on a Wednesday. But this is just a special situation. But we're going into the next fight. Sean, we got another 18-year-old fighter. Emiliano Moreno is taking on Axl Salgado. It's an 8-round welterweight fight. What strikes me about Moreno, Sean, is he's 18. This is going to be his 9th fight. He's fighting another undefeated fighter, but this is another young man, like I said, with 9 fights, and we get to see his rise in the sport.
When I would say maybe a year or two before I retired, people were saying you fought everybody, nobody fights everybody like you, and I was saying, nah, times are changing, man. There's a wave coming. Things are happening in my house. There's a new wave coming, and I felt with this new wave that there was going to be young fighters that were going to be eager, hungry, and ready to get in the ring with no matter who it was across from them. And I think that that's the case we got with Moreno, only being only 18 years old, going in for his 9th fight. He understands, hey, this guy's undefeated, but I am who I am, and that's what I like, because let me prove who I am. And it didn't matter who was across from you. I'm going to do what I do best. And that's why we always got to see great, exciting fights. Nobody was willing to back down. Nobody was willing to decline who they were based on who was across from them. And that's what we're getting. This is the new wave we're coming into, man. And I love it. I love seeing young, hungry fighters get in the ring with other young, hungry fighters. That's what's going to keep this sport alive.
Yeah, Paulie, you and Chris called his last fight. I believe it was his last fight. He looked sensational in it, Moreno. So, again, Paulie, we got 2 18-year-old fighters on this card. It's exciting.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, and this goes to show you, if you impress us on ProBox, if you give the fans what they want, if you show that you're of the quality, but you also show you are of the excitement value, you get brought back here on ProBox, and Sean's talking about this new generation where fighters will fight each other. Well, on ProBox TV, you want to be a prospect on ProBox TV, you're gonna have to be in tough. We're not going to give you the free TV date just to pad your record. And on ProBox TV, you wind up having to go up against, in this situation, Moreno up against another undefeated fighter as well. Hungry fighter versus hungry fighter, undefeated versus undefeated. There's always a little bit of an extra edge on the chip on both guys' shoulders when it's like that. Another good matchup, and just shows why ProBox TV is must-see TV.
Listen. This is a sneaky good fight. We had Axl Melendez on our air, and he upset the very highly touted Gervonta Duncan. And we were all highlighting. Everyone was looking at Duncan. Axl went in there and performed beautifully, put a hurting on Duncan, showed him why he's undefeated. So this is as close to a 50-50 matchup as you're going to find. I know we're talking about Moreno because he's young, but I mean, he's got a really, really tough out in front of him. Axl Melendez comes to win. And if that boy's in shape, he is trouble. So this is going to be an excellent fight. And even in that first fight with Emiliano, I mean, he got hit. It was exciting. Like you said, Champ, we bring guys back when they're exciting. He's exciting. There is back and forth. So, I think with this fight, like I said, this is a sneaky card stealer. If, we talk about how great our cards are, how deep they are. This is another one of those deep fights that's you don't want to miss.
Well, it's fight night, and we got to speak to Emiliano Moreno. This is what he had to say.
My name is Emiliano Moreno. My record is, my professional boxing record is 8-0 with 5 knockouts. And my style of boxing is a boxer puncher. My fight did get changed. My opponent got changed. So I'm fighting Melendez. And he's an undefeated fighter, like you said. I think he has 7 fights and 4 knockouts. We've seen some video on him. We think he's a good opponent. We've been getting ready for basically anything in this fight. I mean, we seen him fight. We like the way he fights. You know, he kind of stands there, so he applies pressure. So I like that because I don't have to go look for him. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be fighting on ProBox because they're a really good promotion. They make really good fights. They get you known, and I'm just gonna go out there and do what I do best.
All right, so Moreno is promising a knockout, but we're going to keep it moving. We got a banging cruiserweight fight, Chris. Lucas Pontes da Silva against Apochi. Every single win these guys had has been a knockout. Da Silva is undefeated. The cruiserweight division, these guys are bringing some heat. They are going to bring it tonight, Chris.
You said it. I mean, listen, every fight we got to have some guaranteed banger. This is it. We got two cruiserweights. Our ring is super small. It gets very intense in there. Both guys come with murderous intent. They're looking to knock somebody out. So this is going to be one of those fights where you don't want to get up and get a drink during this one. Sit down, watch it, because it could end at any moment with these guys punching.
And then we got the main event. Super bantamweights. These guys are both ranked in the top 10. Israel Picazo against Ramon Cardenas. Well, Sean, this is what we've been highlighting. We've got the young kids, we've got the veterans, and we've got two guys who want to be champions. They're both ranked in the top 10, so this fight is extremely important to both. Talk about this type of matchup.
Fun fight to watch stylistically. Both guys, a lot of punches being thrown in this one. So I think this is a 50-50 fight. And I think that this is the kind of fight that ProBox TV needs for people to say, I don't know the name, but that was a lot of fun to watch. I don't know the name, but that was competitive and it was a good boxing match. So, you know, that's the generic way that I think people think about boxing sometimes. But I think that's what this fight is all about. This fight is about who's gonna last. Who's not gonna back down and who's gonna keep punching. You know, I think that both guys are gonna come into the ring, punches and bunches. The duration of the fight, and it's 50-50 for me.
And G, real quick, I mean, these are also guys that have taken O's from other records. They have been match tough. These are not just manufactured good records on these guys. These guys have been literally match tough. As a matter of fact, Picasso, who's 30-5, has a loss early in his career. Went head-to-head against Mauricio Lara, who ended up becoming a world champion. Ended up unseating Lee Wood later on in his career. So you know, Picasso's 30-5. He's on a 15-fight win streak, and one of those losses early career. How many times have we early career in our first 5-10 fights fight guys that wind up becoming world champions later?
And Paul, he's only 25. He hasn't lost. He hasn't lost since he was 20
He's
years
a veteran
old.
at 25.
Right.
Yeah.
He has not lost since he was 20 years old. So you got to look past the numbers on these records when you look at a ProBox TV fight. And I love this fight, man. I think this is a great matchup.
And like I said, just to bottom line it out, they've both taken O's from other guys. Both guys have knocked off undefeated guys.
Yeah, this is going to be a battle of left hooks. Both these guys are fantastic left hooks. Picasso much more to the body, and Cardenas I think is a little more savvy. But this is one of those fights. It's like who's going to get there first, but more importantly, who's going to get there last? Because I don't see this fight going the distance.
Yeah, make sure you go to sportsbetting.ag. The odds were just up. The odds are very close in this fight. And Paul, you took the words out of my mouth. These guys have losses, but they're veterans and they're experienced fighters.
And the loss by Picasso to Lara was a split decision early in their careers.
Right. We had a chance to we caught up with Cardenas. Very interesting interview. And here's what he had to say to us.
My name's Ramon Cardenas. My record's 23-1. My style, I mean, I don't have like a definite style, man. I always tell people I'm here there to win. So whatever I got to do to win, I'm gonna do it. So I don't have a particular style where I'm gonna come out a certain way. You know, for me, it always changes. I got my nickname is Dinamita. I got it because of Juan Manuel Marquez, man. I kind of, you know, growing up, I looked up to Juan Manuel Marquez. And so, you know, when I got older is when I kind of was able to realize how, like, you know, like how beautiful his style really was. And how, you know, the stuff he used to do, not everybody could do that. So I was like, you know what? I was like, you know, I like Juan Manuel. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take his nickname and I'm gonna just keep it for myself now. I mean, it's gonna be something, you know, something special for me, like to have him, you know, commentate my fight, and plus it's like anything, you know, I get to see what he thinks of me, what he thinks I can work on, stuff like that. That would be the best thing as well to know, like, okay, you know what, he's good, but he needs to work on this and that. And it's not like Joe Blow from down the street is telling you this. Oh, you have to throw more jabs, or you got to do this, or you got to do that. This is a Juan Manuel Marquez, so it's gonna be that's the good thing. And I'm gonna have to work on, I guess, stuff on. Everyone has things to work on after a fight, or just in general. I've never met him. It's a crazy story, but my dad met him in Piedras Negras, and I was supposed to go with my dad to hang out with him and everything, and then I didn't end up going because my dad had went late, and so he didn't text me or nothing. I was like, oh man. So then my dad met him. I never met him. I'm pretty excited to meet him, man. I mean, it's like I told you, it's a hero of mine growing up. I'll never forget. I always tell people this story. I was at Buffalo Wild Wings watching his fight versus Pacquiao in 2012. And Buffalo, I don't know if you've ever been to Buffalo Wild Wings, but they have like two sides. Is the bar side, and then they have the dining side. And, once the fight starts coming up, nobody leaves. Everybody stays there. So the people in the bar, they started fighting. And everybody that was there had a Mexico jersey on and everything. And me and my brother was there. And they told us, hey, if you leave, the food will be free. Because they didn't want nobody to fight no more. So we left, but that's when Marquez knocked out Pacquiao, and the Pacquiao fans were fighting the Marquez fans, and it was crazy. So, it's a memory, like a core memory that I will always have forever, like where I was. Like, when they tell you, where were you when the man landed on the moon, or when this happened, or when that happened? For me, I would never forget where I was at in that day in 2012. Whether we be from any ends of the earth, man, this is where we come and we try to make our dreams come true. So, and we go out there and we try to beat each other up for a living, man. So people should watch and should support everybody.
Friday night, tonight, it is going down. Sportsbetting.ag, you see it there. They're the official betting sponsor of Wednesday night fights, and you see those odds on the main event. Very close. Sean, intriguing card. You've got a little bit of everything, and I'm excited for it.
You got a little bit of everything. I really do feel like that's the case with this card top to bottom. You can turn on ProBox TV at any point in time and you will be entertained, you will be impressed, and you'll want more of what ProBox TV is bringing you. So I'm excited just going through the card, kind of picking up things along the way, and I'm like, wow, this is top to bottom. This is going to be action-packed, and it's going to be fun to watch. So you guys enjoy.
Chris and Paulie, we got to wrap this up. You guys got to get ringside and call the fights. I know I can see the excitement in your face, Paulie and Chris.
Dynamite. Good fighters and great fights. ProBox TV, your boxing channel. See you ringside.
boxers, we promote boxing. It's a Friday night edition of Wednesday Night Fights, brought to you by sportsbetting.ag. We welcome our viewers watching tonight on Fubo TV, Canela, Fox Deportes, and Rogers Sportsnet in Canada. You can see we get things started with a 4-round super featherweight matchup. Highly regarded prospect, Robert Meriwether III takes on Bahia, Brazil's Carlos Rocha. Then it's an 8-rounder at super middleweight. Unbeaten, Joeshon James is ready to go toe-to-toe with the man who is very experienced, 38-year-old Vaughn Alexander, brother of former 2-weight class world champion Devin Alexander. Then a 10-rounder in the cruiserweight division. Unbeaten, Lucas Pereira, mentored by one of Brazil's all-time greats, fights for the first time tonight outside of his home country against the Nigerian Pitbull, Efetobor Apochi, who has fought through major shoulder surgery, will face an opponent in the ring for the first time in 22 months. He says, "I've gone through the dark. I am back to see the light." Jesus Saracho and Starling Castillo were set for our co-main. That fight will now be later in the year, but these two men happy to step up. 18-year-old Emiliano Moreno, 8-0, coming off a second-round TKO win in his ProBox TV debut. His opponent, Axl Melendez, is 7-0, also looking to move to 2-0 here on your boxing channel. And our main event is scheduled for 10 rounds for the WBC Feckerbox Super Bantamweight title. Israel Picazo, trained by Nacho Berenstein his entire professional career. His opponent, 23-1, Ramon Cardenas, trained for the first time for this fight in Los Angeles, and tonight in his corner will be Joel Diaz. Hi again, everybody. I'm Mike Goldberg. Welcome to our special Friday night, Wednesday night fights. My powerful partners, as always, the former 2-time world champion, the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi, former world champion, Chris Algieri. First and foremost, since day one, we have promised you, the fan, that we will bring you everything, 24/7, 365 as your boxing channel. So let me share this with you. In a significant move in the boxing world, ProBox TV has acquired the sport's leading website, BoxingScene.com. Now, new BoxingScene.com owner Gary Jonas had said it will be business as usual for the website, but is looking forward to building on the passion, tradition, and dominance that Boxing Scene has delivered for a very long time, 2 decades, in fact. We will also be adding some new components, including news in video format, news shows, talk shows, and these two. Paulie, first of all, your thoughts on this big announcement?
Well, the good thing for me, I think, and I think what the fans will really enjoy is the fact that the written portion of BoxingScene.com, the written news, won't change. You know, you're still going to have that. That's the go-to for so many boxing fans, yes, and for so many people in the boxing world, at least almost the entire duration of my time in the pro world. You know, I remember it was FightNews.com when I first turned pro. But BoxingScene.com took over much shortly after that and has been the premier destination for fight fans. But now you're going to get that same type of news, but you're also going to have an option to click on it in a video format as well, the same news. So you'll have the written news that you can read the article, and you can click on the video and you can have us guys here break down that same kind of news or discussing that same kind of news. You know, so I think it'll give fans more options. It won't change. It won't change the dynamic of things, because I know it has a very strong community over there at Boxing Scene, and that won't change the dynamic. They'll still be able to stay strong. They'll be able to go to their place and connect with each other and have that news. But at the same time, we're making some small additions. Won't change anything, but I think it'll make it a little better.
You know, much to Paulie's point, it's the evolution. And now there will be an evolution at ProBox TV and BoxingScene.com. Now, as I mentioned, we want to satisfy, as always, the hardcore fan, further engaging the casual fans to the importance of this great sport. Gary Jonas also said, over time, the video and technological advancements are only going to add, as Paulie, you mentioned, to the print news coverage and community features. BoxingScene.com will continue to have, as Paulie mentioned, the same passionate backing and care behind it, regardless of the ownership. Since day one, Chris, you said this is going to be a heck of a ride. This is a major part of it.
Well, Goldie, you took the words right out of my mouth. Evolution. We're not changing changing the platform, not changing the format. We're evolving with the times, and that's what the fight fan of today and the future really needs. And you mentioned our CEO of ProBox TV, Gary Jonas. Listen, this might sound like a big news, big surprise. It's really not for us. No. Gary's been a man with a plan, and this is something that he's had in his head and told us all about from day one since I came on. And now we're here. Sorry, I hate to say it, but told you so.
And here's the thing. Another thing. I don't want to keep my excitement. It's hard to hold it back, right?
Yeah,
Another thing I want to just break down for the fans, because I've heard a couple of grumblings about it. A promoter is acquiring boxing scene, like Ring Magazine has been acquired by Golden Boy. We are not a promoter. Sometimes we have to have a promoter's license here because otherwise the commission, we can't hold fights. In order to stage fights, we have to have a promoter's license. But we are a network. Now, all we've done is cut out the middleman. In order to be able to stage fights, we don't have to work with a certain promoter in order to have these fights. We don't need another promoter's license in order to have these fights. But we ourselves are mainly a network, and it's that really a network. It's your boxing channel for the fans. We're spokespeople for the fans, and that's the thing here. You're gonna have, it's gonna be all encompassing. So having boxingscene.com as part of the merger, so to speak, I mean, it goes to show you our passion behind it, and we hope to bring you guys a better product while at the same time living up to the expectation that you guys have always kept with Boxing Scene.
But also, boxingscene.com has been such an integral part to the fan base of boxing. We don't want that to go anywhere, and we want to bring it into the fold and make things better, because we're out for the fans. We want everyone to have. That's why we put on such good fights. And like to Champ's point, it's not a promoter getting their own media outlet. This is all for the fans. This is all for you guys at home.
Paulie, much to your point, like the golf channel, the tennis channel, the one second closest to my heart after, of course, ProBox TV, the NHL Network. More on this big announcement as we continue throughout the night, but let's get back and take a look and break down our main event of the evening for the regional belt. And Israel Picazo is a very dangerous man.
Oh, he is, man. You look at his record, 30-5, you're like, he's pretty good. He's fought some tough guys. Not only has he fought some tough guys, this guy's got wins over undefeated guys. He's on a 15-fight winning streak. And one of his 5 losses early in his career against Mauricio Lara, who winds up becoming a world champion later on.
And a bad dude.
Yeah, you guys might recognize him from having beaten Lee Wood the first time they fought. He has a split decision loss to Lara. They fought earlier in their careers. So this kid is a kid. He's only 25 years old. He's typical. A lot of those Mexican pros, they turn pro in their teen years. They pick up a few losses, but then they turn it around and go on a tear and a momentum. I can remember a guy like Manuel Medina was like that, and he wound up becoming a very strong world champion as well. So in Mexico, you see this sometimes. Guys turn pro a little early, they get beat a few times, but then all of a sudden they go on a tear. They mature, they go on a tear. And that's what Picazo's been doing. So tonight's fight is really, really a pick'em fight. And the odds makers have it that way.
And he hasn't lost in 5 years. He's 25. Right. He hasn't lost since he's 20 years old.
And Ramon Cardenas, his opponent, brings it all to the ProBox TV ring tonight. And when you evolve, you change coaches, and you have more people believe in you, Chris.
Oh, no, Cardenas is a very solid, very slick, very tricky guy in there. And this is going to be the battle of left hooks. Both these guys have fantastic left hooks. They have great knockouts. Go check out their highlight reels. It's incredible, these guys. I think this is going to be a banger of a fight. Can't wait to see it. Great clash of styles. You've got a Mexican national versus a Mexican-American fighting on U.S. soil. Can't get better than that.
And they're not blowing up records. If you look at go to boxing.com and check their records, they've earned their records. These aren't blowing up records. These guys can fight. Their records prove it, and they've also earned their records against good opposition.
They have earned their records. They will be in our main event later tonight, but we get things started with our first fight of the night with a man who could very well be billing the top of the stage somewhere very soon in his career. It is a super featherweight fight. Our tale of the tape for this 4-round matchup. 18-year-old Robert Meriwether III will face off against Bahia, Brazil's 30-year-old Carlos Rocha. You see the big age difference. It is the young man from Louisville, Kentucky, who is a bit taller and will have a slight reach advantage. Now to get things officially underway on a Friday night of Wednesday night fights, here is Jim Sorensen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your first televised bout tonight on ProBox TV's Wednesday Night Fights is about to get underway. This fight is scheduled for 4 rounds in the super featherweight division. Your judges for this fight, James O'Connor, Efren LeBron, and Tito Wilgo. And the referee in charge is Michael DeJesus. Introducing to you first, Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black and green trunks. He weighed in at 131 pounds even, with a record of 3 wins, 2 losses, and 2 big wins by knockout. From Bahia, Brazil, please welcome Carlos Rocha! And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the green, black, and gold, weighing in at 131.2 pounds. He is undefeated in his young career. His record, 4 wins, no losses, and 2 wins by knockout. From Las Vegas, Nevada, by way of Louisville, Kentucky, let's hear it for King Robert Meriwether III!
Ya le dije todo en el rincón, en el locker room y en el rincón. I say everything in the locker room and in the corner. You know, I expect, toca one si quieres, touch, go if you want to, if not, go back in the corner.
Very nice young man, Robert Meriwether III.
Boxer.
Joined us after one of our previous shows. Carlos Rocha. Scheduled for 4 rounds. Green, black, and gold trunks for 4-0 18-year-old King Robert, the Brazilian in the black and green trunks. Rocha, second fight here on ProBox TV. He has been here at our facility a lot, training as well under the tutelage of Ray Ferre.
Yeah, Meriwether, you know, one of those promising prospects that people have had an eye on since he was an amateur. Obviously, you see his young age turning pro at 18 years old. Yeah. You got to have had, you know, you're not in a rush to turn pro at 18. So when you're able to turn pro at 18, it's usually because you've gained that specific amateur experience and been impressive enough.
It is Meriwether, but he did sign at age 16.
With Mayweather.
Correct. And has trained with Floyd and comes in very highly regarded. Nice. And there were a couple decent boxers over the years out of Louisville, Kentucky, if my mind serves me right.
Yeah, 1 or 2, right?
Yeah, 1 or 2.
A few seconds ago, he had a little roll counter, right uppercut there. You can see some of the potential athleticism you can see in there that he can use to his advantage.
And Champ, you also see that big amateur pedigree. Those guys always have great eyes. They keep their eyes open. They're focused on the distance. They're setting the pace. Meriwether doing that here early in round 1.
Rocha is a guy we've had before. He's usually a sturdy guy himself, you know. Not the easiest of opponents for a guy you fight early in your career.
No, certainly a step-up fight. You know, you mentioned that Meriwether's 18 years old. Normally, when guys are 18 years old, they spend their first 6, 7, 8, 9 fights in Mexico.
Yeah.
Not with someone with the pedigree of Meriwether. He's here in a tough fight already.
And Rocha faced another young up-and-comer in Cincinnati, Ohio's Michael Gamble when he made his debut here on ProBox TV, and Gamble really came out storming and finished him. First time that the Brazilian has been finished in his career, just 2 minutes into the fight. Getting to see a little bit more of Bahia, Brazil's Carlos Andre dos Santos Rocha.
Which is good, because we're going to see more of Meriwether. We're going to see those skills. But now we just saw him with a nice double jab combination. Doesn't forget the body either. I love to see that in a young pro.
$1 million smile and a very humble but confident attitude. His father, Robert Meriwether II, and Gil Martinez in the corner tonight. Gil, a staple in Las Vegas, worked with many great boxers and mixed martial artists, and he's back here in our ProBox TV headquarters tonight.
Right, go all left, all left. But you gotta press a little bit, okay? But move your head, keep your head off the line when you jab, okay? Keep your head off the line. Boom, boom. You understand what I'm saying? But you gotta keep your head off the line when you jab. The uppercut's there, touch the body. Okay, touch the body. Okay, you good? come back up.
Father and son in the corner. And Ray Ferre in the corner of Rocha. Set for round number 2. This fight's scheduled for 4 rounds. 4-0, Robert Meriwether III in the green, black, and gold trunks. Black with a little bit more yellow than green. Brazilian colors being sported by the man born in Bahia and fighting out of Sao Paulo by way of Plant City, Florida.
I like the instruction in the corner there from Meriwether. So get your head off the line when you're jabbing. He got caught with a few jabs as he was coming in with the jab by keeping his head straight on that line. Already he's come out changing levels, throwing that jab to the body and upstairs.
You just have to be able to translate it into the offense. Right now, I think he's having a little trouble finding the proper range for Rocha. You see there, just just short as he flies on the way in. I think Meriwether would be able to improve his accuracy a little bit if he feints and punches right off those feints. You know, you see he's trying to show different looks, trying to show that different level change and whatnot. But you see Rocha not really giving a lot of openings there, so you got to create them.
3 fights in 2022 for the 18-year-old. Just 1 fight last year, and that was in June of last year. So first time in about 8 months that Meriwether is back in the ring, looking to move to 5-0 in his young professional career.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you're a prospect at this age, you want to stay busy. Nice little left hand there from Meriwether. And that's what you want to see. You want to see that busy lead hand from him. Nice little hook there from Rocha as well.
That's why we have ProBox TV. We can keep these guys busy, Magic Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Meriwether needs to be careful with that step in wide hook from the outside. He's got his feet very wide there.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like he's forcing it just a little bit. Maybe he wants to impress, so maybe it's been the 8 months off, you know. You got to be able to create it so you can enter the front door smoothly there.
Well, Champ, you mentioned the feints, and he was feinting in round 1, but he wasn't transitioning it to offense. Yeah. Using the feints from the outside, a little too far away, not really reacting off of it.
Also, that double jab, he's throwing that kind of at the same speed consistently. It's good, but you want to be able to vary the pace of it or vary the look of it a little bit.
Lead hook by Meriwether III.
Good reaction there. Nice pull and hard jab over the top from Meriwether.
12 years the elder is Rocha, but he has a tremendous amateur pedigree, 125 amateur fights, a member of the Brazilian national team, 5 professional fights for Rocha, and Meriwether III, this is his 5th professional fight.
Yeah, he knows his way around the ring a little bit. Rocha, you can tell he's not panicky because he's in there with a good prospect. Nice little combination from Meriwether. One of those shots got through clean. The other ones were kind of on the gloves of Rocha, but see, Rocha knows his way around the ring a little bit. He doesn't panic when under attack.
And confident as well, probably speaking to that big amateur experience that you were talking about, Goldie, from Rocha.
A lot of great men to train with back in his home country of Brazil. Just a tap with the right hand on the chin of Meriwether.
Over here, right. But you got to stick it with your jab and you got to press a little bit. Okay, touch, touch. You understand what I'm saying? It's fair. Wasting your time thinking about it.
Guys, father's telling son, we got to get started.
Yeah, you see that left hand there, that first jab gets in there. Rocha kind of backs off.
That was the best punch in a fight landed so far from Meriwether, that left hook upstairs. And I liked after that, he went right to looking for the body shots. He didn't have the right distance, but he caught the guy upstairs, like, all right, I caught him upstairs, let me try and get him downstairs too.
ProBox TV debut for the 18-year-old who will turn 19 on the 21st of this month. Meriwether III, green, black, and gold. Black for Rocha. Both men here on ProBox looking to start things off in style. Nice hook connecting by Meriwether III. Yeah, we didn't get to see Rocha's game against Cincinnati, Ohio's own Michael Gamble, but we're seeing it tonight.
Yeah, in that Gamble fight, he got caught very, very quickly, caught cold in the first round. And Gamble is a very serious, tricky puncher, especially early on. So No shame there.
And Gamble's followed up here on our air, Chris, with another fine performance, justifying what he was able to do quickly against the Brazilian. Fight scheduled for 4. Our first of 5 fights here on a Friday night edition of Wednesday Night Fights.
Good little 1-2 there by Meriwether. You want to see that follow-up, though. You want to see a little bit of that killer instinct.
Seems like Meriwether's finding his range a little better this round, but I agree, Champ. I think there's a lot of opportunities for him to follow up on some of this offense and build on what he does early on.
Yeah, he'll land the shot and then wind up in a clinch, and then he'll kind of be satisfied to start over. Doesn't really step on the gas. I think that's just something that'll come with his experience.
No tire puño. Don't practice. Back.
Little gloves, no headgear, mixing with old man strength. Pros are it's a different thing than pros are different thing than the amateurs.
Very quickly.
Watch the heads there. Meriwether leading with that right hand, a little too wide.
You want to make sure the fist gets there before your head.
Yeah.
ProBox TV, your boxing channel, 24/7, 365. And now we are going to present our ownership, our partnership, our evolution with BoxingScene.com. We recognize, applaud, and respect the passion BoxingScene.com has built over the past 2 decades. 30 seconds, round 3.
Stop, no punching.
I don't know if it's something that's I'm seeing. It's almost a little bit unnatural the way Meriwether throws. Almost like he's trying to aim the shots. I feel like he has enough speed to just be natural with the way he throws the shots. It's almost like he's at times I feel like when he's throwing the punches, it's almost like he's trying to be too perfect, almost like trying to aim them.
I was gonna say
he's got a lot of natural speed. He could just let them go and that's it.
It seems like he's overthrowing the shots and kind of trying to force.
Overthinking.
Yeah, overthinking, overthrowing. Like you said, Champ, just use that speed.
Yeah. You can see the natural athleticism there, but he just doesn't look fluid. And it could be the time off too.
Could be the time off. It could be the platform that he's on. This is a big step up, and he also has a very capable guy in front of him.
You ain't got to step with it. So you got to do is turn with it. Okay? You ain't got to step with it. Turn with it. All right? Check hook is there all day. Okay? Bank a little bit. You just stick a whole lot more. Work your way in with your stick, but you got to get active. All right, last round, you got to get active. All right?
Father's advice to son in the corner of King Robert. Ray Ferre in the corner of Carlos Rocha.
Okay.
Yeah, and I like the instructions from Meriwether's father. He can be active just the lead hand alone. You can be much more active, I feel like, especially when you have that kind of athleticism. You can vary that left hand in different ways and stay very active within just, dominate at that range. Especially that Rocha is not very, very active on the outside. He's kind of, he kind of knows how to posture and pose. You can beat him just with that jab, but sometimes it looks like Meriwether's trying to create too much. And because he's doing that, he's trying to overthink.
And Meriwether showing some of his strength on the inside.
Big time.
Answering the man's strength with his own strength. Yeah, and like you said, Champ, I mean, not a whole lot coming back from Rocha at this point. I think the speed is really handcuffing him.
Yeah, so you can sort of start to dictate more with that lead hand. But I think the reason Meriwether's not doing it is because he's thinking about throwing so many other punches that he ends up throwing none of them. Or he doesn't create enough openings for them anyway.
4th and final round of our first fight here on our special Friday night edition of Wednesday Night Fights on ProBox TV. Good combination.
Good jabs there. That's those left hands. You see when Meriwether uses them there. And I feel he could be so much more active with it. It's a good jab, especially if he throws it in a natural fashion and doesn't try to aim it. I feel like it can be there at a much more fluid pace.
No, that's exactly the word I was going to use, fluidity. You mentioned, the speed. You add that speed and fluidity, you get that snap, and that power comes along behind it.
Under 90 seconds remaining in the fight.
Remember Larry Holmes used to talk about throwing that jab like you're cracking a whip. Oh, nice left hook.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how you want your jab to come out.
Oh, clash of heads there.
You could see that was bound to happen.
Yeah. Meriwether took the worst of that, but didn't really react. There's that feint.
See, right there, you got to know how to create with that lead hand from there. You see, like, it's not there. You got to know how to, sort of inch your way in, cut the ring off a little bit. And those are things that I think the young prospect will work on and be able to mature a little bit more with as he gets a little older. Remember, this is just an 18-year-old kid. He's turning 19 this month.
Nice right hand there from Rocha over the top.
He has gone the 4-round distance twice already in his first 4 fights, 30 seconds away from doing it a 3rd time.
I like when these young prospects get rounds. You got a lot of guys, you match them up easy. They're blasting through guys early on, but they're not getting that pro experience that they need. This is a great test for Merrick. Ooh, nice left hook from Rocha. Get that pro experience in. You get those rounds with a tough guy like this.
Turning southpaw.
A guy with vast amateur experience, as I mentioned, Brazilian national team, and they go the distance.
It's one of those things you pointed to, champ, getting the experience. I think it's one of those nights that you chalk up to the experience for Meriwether. First fight in 8 months. I think it's, he and his team will be happy to have gotten back and being busy after the first time in 8 months. And they'll look to avoid another 8-month layoff and try to, just stay consistent and then work off of the win tonight. Because I think they'll get the decision. But there's some things to improve on.
And for everyone at home who watches our ProBox TV shows, we talk about how debilitating being out of the ring can be. So those 8 months for a young fighter can definitely have some rust.
Yeah, you see Meriwether posturing. It looks great for pictures. I tell you, Meriwether.
Oh, he's got the look for sure.
Yeah, even the way he looks in his stance and whatnot. But then when the punches come together, sometimes a little bit smothering, not punching from the proper distance a little bit, or having a little trouble creating the proper distance for him. There's a good right hand there, but again, a little trouble following up when he does land a good shot. Just small, subtle things. It's a good jab. When he uses the jab, I feel like he's got a good jab when he uses it. I feel like he could use it more. There's a good left hook there, but again, wasn't attempting to follow up. You see, kind of just poses after that. And again, just, little subtle things that I think also come from the little bit of inactivity.
Yeah, there's little gaps that can if you put that all together, you can make a lot big adjustments.
Judges have rendered their decision. To make it official, let's get it up to Jim Sorensen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back after 4 tactical rounds of boxing here. We go to the judges' scorecards. And in this case, all 3 judges, Judge James O'Connor, Judge Efren LeBron, and Judge Tito Wilgo, have scored the bout 40-36. A unanimous decision victory for King Robert Meriwether III.
Third time he has gone the 4-round distance. He remains unbeaten in his young professional career. Robert Meriwether III to enjoy his 19th birthday on the 21st of this month.
Next week.
Right around the corner.
Yep. 4 great fights still to come. So let's check in backstage with our own Beatriz Calise, who has one of our fighters still to come.
Emiliano, you're going to be one of the fighters of the co-main event of this evening in ProBox TV. What are we going to see from you in this bout of the welterweight division?
You're going to see an excellent performance. I promise it's not going to go to distance. I've been working very hard, and I'm prepared for this. I'm prepared for anything.
What do you think is the key for this victory?
The key for this victory is definitely going to be my jab. I'm going to use a lot of jab and go to the body early.
One more question. Why do they call you the Revolution?
They call me the Revolution because back in the day they used to make the good fights where people would fight toe-to-toe and the audience would jump out of the seats, and I'm just trying to bring that back.
Thank you so much. We're going to go back to the ring now.
We will see Emiliano Moreno and Axl Melendez later tonight in our co-main event of the evening. And up next, it's Joeshon James and Vaughn Alexander on a special Friday night edition of Wednesday Night Fights here on ProBox TV. The super middleweights are coming up next. Welcome back to ProBox TV, as we have gotten things started with King Robert and a victory to move his record to 5-0. Let me tell you another quote from our leader, Gary Jonas. He said, "We've been working quietly on ProBox, assembling a team to create an environment for boxing fans and trying to think, what would we want as fans? You know what I would want as fans? I would want to work every single Wednesday night with Chris Algieri and Paulie Malignaggi.
If not every, at least every 2 Wednesdays.
Every Tuesday. But if we go every
we can get.
Paulie, I'll do it, Magic Man.
Every other Wednesday, we're here for you guys on ProBox TV. Tonight is a special edition Friday Night Fights, but it's just because this week of Valentine's Day. In a couple of weeks, we'll go back to the Wednesday Night Fight series, as we will all year round, every other Wednesday.
Because as always, we're here for the fans. We do what the fans want. You guys want to take your wives and girlfriends out on Valentine's Day?
So we're step aside for you.
Well, for those of you who did not do it properly and were waiting for us on Wednesday, you're probably still in trouble, but I hope you are watching here on a Friday
But at least you're in trouble watching us.
Right. At least you're here with us.
Exactly. Well, you know what? Those guys who made that mistake, they're in deep waters. See, guys, this is what I did there. Deep waters.
Guys good.
That is one of our features on ProBox TV. Hope you had a good Valentine, or you're going to find yourself swimming, looking for air.
Now I got to stay handcuffed a little bit. I got to pick my shots I got to throw, because otherwise, if I miss, I'm going to get hit with a hard shot. Ortiz not counterpunching so well in the second half, like you called it, champ, disengaging.
Disengaging.
It did make it look a little bit worse, because again, it didn't. What's the word I'm looking for? It didn't frustrate Lopez into not.
It didn't deter him at all.
Yeah,
it didn't deter him.
That's
why
not wanting to be aggressive.
He's walking forward, literally like a bully, just coming forward.
But don't get me wrong, Lopez is not without criticism too, because he's just crossing his feet, walking forward,
is awful,
looking at the crowd like, hey, this guy doesn't want to fight. Well, you know what, dude? Fundamentally, it's up to you to force that. The ring is square. It's not a stadium.
Let Tim jump in, because Tim, I
go ahead, Tim. Go ahead, Tim. Go ahead. Let him hear.
Real quick, guys. We don't score fights on damage. That's MMA. You guys sound like you're scoring it on damage. You're talking about Lopez and have a scratch on him.
No, I'm just alluding to the CompuBox numbers and how, like, if the punches look like they're landing but they're not. When you got a guy like Lopez who's so difficult to really, he's so quick, he's so twitchy. It's hard to see if those punches land or not. So I think my point is, a lot of those punches that may seem to have been landed or counted, I don't think they did.
A lot of the punches that were thrown by Lopez didn't land either.
Well,
and he was missing big. He was missing big. A lot of those body shots, Ortiz was able to step back and get out of range.
All right, as promised, we are set for our second fight of the night, and another unbeaten in Joeshon James, 8-0-2, fighting out of Sacramento, California, 25 years old, taking on 38-year-old Vaughn Alexander. And many in our sports betting world are thinking Joeshon James, a -800 to Alexander's +900. Of course, Wednesday Night Fights, brought to you on ProBox TV by sportsbetting.ag. Our tale of the tape for this 8-round super middleweight matchup. Alexander, 13 years the elder of his opponent. He is the shorter man and will give away 6.5 inches of reach to Shantai. Once again, with the official introductions, we get it up into the ProBox TV ring. Over to Jim Sorensen.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are back. Live on ProBox TV, this next bout is scheduled for 8 rounds in the super middleweight division. Your judges for this fight, Shami Shipman, James O'Connor, and Efren LeBron. And the referee in charge is Christopher Young. First up, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black and red trunks, he weighed in at 161.8 pounds. His record, 18 wins, 8 losses, and 1 draw, with 11 big wins by knockout. From St. Louis, Missouri, let's give it up for Vaughn, the Animal Alexander. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the camouflage trunks, weighing in at 161.2 pounds. He is undefeated. His record, 8 wins and no losses, with 2 draws and 5 wins by knockout. Please welcome, representing Sacramento, California, Joeshon James.
All right, Jimmy, you see instructions in the dressing room. Give him commands of all time, protect themselves all the time. Touch him up.
This one's scheduled for 8 in the super middleweight division. 18 career wins for Alexander, 8-0-2 is that man, Joeshon James.
All right, red corner, you ready? Blue corner, you ready? Bail!
Here we go. It's time to fight. Camouflage trunks for James Alexander in the black and red trunks.
Yeah, Vaughn is the brother of Devin Alexander, two-weight world champion. Vaughn himself had actually had a good amateur career and was pretty promising at one point himself.
Yes.
He had a great start to his pro career.
Yeah, just got into some trouble and had a bit of a layoff there because of that.
Long layoff. Pro debut was in 2004. Then he did not fight again until 2016. But he has stayed very busy since that point.
Long layoff, but Joeshon using that long reach, 6.5-inch reach advantage for Joeshon James.
Yeah, Joeshon James is one of those undefeated guys who's really earned his record. 8-0-2, but you look at his box record, he's not been put in soft. And here tonight, he's not been soft again. It's Vaughn Alexander, again, is one of those experienced guys who has experience not just in the pros, but also in the amateurs.
And James is coming off what many considered an upset win over then 13-0 David Stevens back in October in Inglewood, California. Stevens was down twice in the round, and this was a fight that James, Chris, took on only a week's notice. Big win for the 25-year-old.
In the interview that we did with Joeshon, he mentioned that he's much more of a throwback fighter, and what you can expect from him is Tommy Hearns-like power, length, reach, and you can see that now with his frame and the way he throws that right hand.
Yeah, and then if you look at the pre-fight stats, he's about a 5.5-inch reach advantage over Vaughn. At least.
6.5 actually, 6.5 inch, yeah.
My math is off, champion. That's what you're here for. Good hook there by Vaughn on the inside.
Paulie, we know math and/or nutrition and many other subjects. We just defer to Chris.
Champ, exactly.
Yeah.
Joeshon doing a good job using that reach advantage, staying on the outside, staying long. You see him keep posting with that lead hand. Nice body shot there from Joeshon.
Last 4 fights, James has gone finish, draw, finish against 4 straight unbeaten opponents.
Good short right hand on the inside there from Vaughn.
Yeah, Vaughn is a tricky, clever veteran, you know. He hits it with a right hand there on the inside, but he's going to try to walk you down, and he's going to try to make Joshon's life psychologically uncomfortable. If he can get in closer, he'll make it a little more physically uncomfortable. Right now, Joeshon doing the work to try to maintain a certain distance to where he can at least command the pace of the fight.
Yeah, Vaughn using slow pressure, working his way inside. Not throwing a whole lot just yet.
10 seconds.
Oh, good chopping right hand from Joeshon over the top. Vaughn takes it well.
Yeah, and he's thrown he's landed a couple of those this round so far.
Watch your form, okay, champ?
You're doing that first round, okay? Keep boxing. That's it. All right? Stay long.
We're going to bring him down.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, he's conservative. Right. Make him work.
Sean Time looking to chop his opponent down. Andreas Martinez in his corner.
Our guys in the truck doing a great job catching that chopping right hand we had just mentioned the end of the last round. It's good to see a tall guy with a reach like that who can shorten up the punch on the inside.
Yeah, and on the inside, throws in a nice chop in fashion. And with the adjustment there for Vaughn, you want to see him bend his knees a little bit so that chopping right hand goes over the top of him. He's got to be careful not to take too many of those because, like we were talking about earlier, Joeshon has some pretty good punching power.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got a tricky right hand, too. He's able to thread the needle pretty well from what I've seen on tape.
And so many times, Paulie and Chris, we talk about, okay, you are long, but you got to fight long. And so far, that's what James has been doing.
Yeah, you know, you've seen Vaughn trying to close that gap little by little, trying to use that smart pressure, that savvy veteran pressure. But at the same time, you know, Joeshon has been busy with the lead hand, either using that jab or at least using it to using some measuring tactics with that lead hand.
Camouflage trunks for James Alexander. Vaughn the Animal Alexander in the black and red trunks, round number 2.
And but the issue with Vaughn, even though he's putting a lot of pressure coming forward, there's no change in gears thus far. He's coming at the same speed at all times.
Yeah, and that sometimes can happen to a guy who's that age. You know, you sort of end up going through the motions a little bit. It's up to Vaughn to, you know, I'm sure, you know, again, we talk about he has a savvy veteran mentality, but at the same time, sometimes that old grizzled mentality sort of makes you go through those gears without really thinking about things. And right now, if he's thinking about things, he should be probably upping the pace a little bit on Joeshon James so that he can make it a little bit more uncomfortable for him.
I definitely should be hanging out this range. Joeshon is able to pick him apart, chopping him with lefts and rights.
And a sneaky little uppercut there, partner.
Yeah, it's impressive how he changes the trajectory on those punches, even though he has such long arms. He punches pretty well on the inside.
Trying to start with that jab, keep that hand in the face of his opponent, alter his vision, and then follow up with that right hand.
And I like how Joeshon James, too, is staying calm, because when you get the guy pressuring you mentally, like Vaughn Alexander's doing, sometimes when you're a young fighter, you know, you come out of pocket a little bit, you try to throw harder punches, you're hoping that leaves you alone. But Joeshon James knows that you're not just going to let, Alexander's not just going to leave you alone, no matter how hard you throw at him. He's compact, he's in tight, he's hard to hit clean, so he's taking what he gives him. So he's taking these little snappy shots, not trying to overthrow too hard. And he's keeping smart, and he's keeping a mature pace.
27 professional bouts. Alexander stopped just twice in his 8 setbacks. His last fight against Ian Green was one of those occasions, December of last year. Green came in 17-2 and was able to finish the animal in the 8th round of a 10-round fight.
And Joeshon fighting like that. Joeshon knows he's fighting like a guy who knows that Vaughn is not going to go anywhere that easily. So he's just trying to pick his shots, not throwing them too hard, putting some snap on them, trying to win the rounds, and trying to keep Vaughn from getting into any kind of rhythm.
Joeshon just did something really clever.
10 seconds.
Vaughn got in position to punch, and Joeshon used that forearm to push him off balance, so he took the power off of Vaughn's shot. Classy move there from Joeshon.
The left hook, once you hit him with that left hook, he gave you that overhand right, okay? Start getting ready for the fade back. So get some feints.
Our beautiful ProBox TV ring card girls. A full night of fights. This number 2 of 5 on a Friday night here on ProBox TV. Mike Goldberg, my powerful partners, the Magic Man, the former 2-time world champion, Paulie Malignaggi, former world champion, Chris Algieri. Our coverage of this super middleweight matchup continues. Round number 3. Camouflage trunks, as I mentioned, for Showtime, black and red. For Vaughn Alexander, born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri. Pawn with that left hand again. There's that chopping right that we saw land earlier.
Yeah, you know, Joeshon throws that chopping right from in close range. I like to see maybe that straight right hand from a little further out as well. If you can get some extra leverage on it. When you throw a big guy like this with wide shoulders, you get good body shots there from Joeshon James. You get that straight right hand coming from far away when you're that tall. You pick up a lot of speed on it. A lot of tall guys have good straight right hands.
Yeah, and those guys that are long like that, usually the leverage accounts for them hitting harder at a distance rather than in close.
Yeah, listen, I'd like to see him try it straight from a little further out. Right now, he's sort of allowing Vaughn to get into that middle range, and then he ends up having to sort of chop with it or shoot it as a pot shot. Which, of course, again, I talked about the fact that he's spin poised and he's taking what Vaughn gives him, but I think there's also little spots here by this point in the fight where you can pick a spot here and there where you can throw a little bit harder.
You mentioned the body shots of Joeshon, champion. He actually, I've seen on tape, he's got a very good right hook to the body that he throws with good power. And Vaughn was stopped in his last fight with a body shot.
Vaughn with a good combination. Snapped the head back, and there's a
hurt each other. Vaughn got the better of that.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, Vaughn get in there, man. I tell you, he's a...
There's that gear change that I was talking about. Now he's being more explosive.
He's a powerful guy. 11 of his 18 wins have been finishes.
Stop. Listen, champ, you gotta watch your form.
Yeah.
Got away with it earlier.
Yeah.
You pointed it out, Chris.
I'm surprised he didn't get you warm with that earlier, but yeah.
Now a little bit too evident, right?
You can bend the rules a little. Ooh, there's that right hook. Aye, good left hook from Vaughn.
Best round of the fight so far, Magic Man.
Yeah, and Vaughn is getting a little closer, and that's why now these shots that he's throwing, they're landing instead of coming up short. There's coming up short, but he follows it up with a hook, partially blocked by Joeshon James. But Joeshon James starting to feel like he has to fight Vaughn Alexander more, and that's, I think, what Vaughn wants. He wants him to sort of punch himself out a little bit or make some mistakes from feeling some of that pressure.
You know, Champ, you had mentioned about, having a little bit of length, landing those punches harder from longer distance. Almost like Vaughn lulled him to sleep by walking in, staying in that range and getting caught, just so he can get close enough to be explosive like he is here.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he's done. Joeshon,
savvy veteran.
Joeshon still has a good savvy, good pot shot right hook.
Wednesday Night Fights brought to you by sportsbetting.ag. Don't forget, go to ProBoxTV.com. You can also view all of our great content on the ProBox TV YouTube channel. And we always welcome our viewers watching around the world. Tonight on Fubo TV, Canela, Fox Deportes, and Rogers Sportsnet in Canada.
You see that right hook there, followed with a little short left hook by Alexander. He tried to follow it up there. There's a good uppercut from Joeshon, but a right hand there from Vaughn Alexander to return the favor. It was a good two-way action in that round.
Yeah, I initially reacted to that nasty uppercut that Joeshon landed, but then Vaughn landed the better right hook that had more of an effect.
And if you missed the news earlier, a significant announcement in the boxing world. ProBox TV has acquired the sport's leading website, boxingscene.com. And we are here just to give you bigger and better coverage of the sport that the fans deserve to be covered correctly. Boxingscene.com, just a master for 2 decades, and we're going to add new elements. Not going to change things, just going to let them grow. Round number 4. That sneaky uppercut James tried to land earlier in the fight as well. But Vaughn went with the 2-1 to really snap back the head of his opponent in the third round.
You see Vaughn, he gave him that little shell, and so he prevents you from hitting him too cleanly. So it's hard to get his respect. And so that's why he's continuing to walk Joeshon down. We know Joeshon can punch a little bit, but again, it's not easy to load up shots and land them on Vaughn. You got to sort of pick your spots and maybe take a little something off them in order to hope to land them cleanly, because he's got a nice little shell defense. It's hard to get him cleanly.
He's also always been known as a durable guy. He's, you know, he's obviously built powerfully. He's got that explosiveness. He's compact, and he's not getting hit with any punches he doesn't see. They're not tricky shots.
Former 2-weight world champion Devin Alexander, Vaughn's brother. His other brother, James Alexander, in his corner here tonight. ProBox TV, your boxing channel.
The thing I'd like to see Vaughn do is he's allowing Joeshon to sort of circle the ring, and maybe if you cut him off, force Joeshon to walk the other way, maybe make Shuntheim a little bit more uncomfortable if he's got to walk the other way. Right now, Joeshon has been able to sort of circle the ring to his left. That little uppercut, right
there
uppercut.
It is.
Yep.
Man, that's a nasty shot. And like I mentioned, the shots that Vaughn doesn't see, he hasn't been able to punch. He's not seeing that one.
See, I'd like to see Vaughn step over to his right, you know, and force Joeshon to go this way. Yeah, keep forcing him to go this way, and maybe Joeshon will be a little bit more uncomfortable working that way. You see?
Also,
now he starts walking this way to work. He wasn't working when he was going to the right.
I think he's also more worried about the left hook from Vaughn. He got hit with a couple that were having an effect early on.
Yeah, so if you cut him off
there it is again. There's that left hook. Good shot. Vaughn has a tricky left hook. You don't really see it.
And that's why he should be cutting off Joeshon and making him go towards it. Cut off the avenue to the escape route to the left. Good body shot there by Vaughn. You're right, champ.
And then over the top with the left.
Yeah, Vaughn's putting on the pressure here. Good body work from Joeshon too.
James at 6'1½", a reach of 76.5 inches. Does fight well on the inside despite his height and reach. Alexander's best punches have basically come from the left hand, almost the right hand at the end of the round.
Talking about James' uppercut tonight, and there it is there. Right hand uppercut, nice. And you see Alexander trying to counter it with the right hand as he's tried all throughout the night. As a matter of fact, the last round we showed another replay where Joeshon landed the right uppercut and Alexander returned his own right hand. So that's been sort of the automatic for Alexander to try to return fire when Joeshon tries to land that right hand uppercut.
Yeah, it seemed like Alexander allowed Joeshon to get a little comfortable, and now he's starting to fire back.
Keep it clean, gentlemen, okay?
This super middleweight matchup continues. Round number 5, scheduled for 8. James unbeaten at 25 years old.
Nice step through right hand from Vaughn Alexander there. Catches Joeshon on the way out.
Yeah, Joeshon's holding on there. Holding on tight.
His legs look a little wobbly.
Right hand.
Here's another one.
No posting.
No posting, no forearm. But Christopher Young's all over it. Oh, big swing and a miss. That's the punch he just missed at the end of last round, too. That could be not only a game changer, but a game ender.
I'm harping back to Tommy Hearns because Joeshon mentioned it in the interview. One thing about Tommy Hearns, when he would get clipped, his legs would go. And we've seen a few times where Joeshon's legs are buzzed.
One thing you got to give Joeshon credit for, though, he doesn't go away from the game plan. You know, the work, you know, Alexander may land here and there, make him uncomfortable, but he goes back to his pot shot game planning, keep little snappy shots, and outwork Alexander. Keep busier than Alexander and keep shooting these shots. Especially that pot shot straight right hand has been a pretty good weapon for him.
And get a little clean shave on Vaughn Alexander, and He resembles Bernard Hopkins.
Maybe a little shorter, though.
Body
A little
shot.
shorter, yeah.
Yeah, a little short, a little more compact. Ooh, big dig to the body there, just misses.
There's the uppercut again from Joeshon James.
And the answer from Vaughn Alexander.
But Alexander, he's so compact with his power, economy of motion. Just wanting to get inside.
But again, Goldie, he's got to cut off the ring, though.
Right,
I mean,
he's following.
He's just following James when James goes to his left. Anytime you force James to go to his right, he's not really doing a lot of work, and you can also force him into your left hook.
But that's also why Joeshon's not missing that pop right hand that he keeps shooting out.
Nice right hand from James.
Yeah, you see there, James walked over to the right, and then when he started working, he starts moving back to the left when he starts working. So James will go to the right to change position at times, but he doesn't really do a lot of work when he's going to the right. Once he stops to work, he starts going back to his left. So if you cut him off and force him to try to work to his right, you may walk him into some mistakes, including your own left hook if you're Vaughn Alexander. See, that's because you made him walk to the right, you see?
Right. And there's a left hook again.
Nice left hook to the body and to the head. Those short, compact, explosive punches from Vaughn Alexander on the inside.
Changing levels, Chris, nicely. And again to the
Another
body.
dig.
Let's see if Vaughn cuts him off, though. Let's see. I'm telling you, man, it'd be a big difference maker for him, but he's allowing James again to escape to the left.
Allowing escape routes.
Hey, champ, you gotta do better weight than your form, okay? I don't have that ticket on point, all right?
Getting set for round 6.
Yeah, that was a bit of a balanced stumble shot. Like you said, champ, he's not very comfortable moving to that right side of his. But then you see Vaughn Alexander come back with the left hooks upstairs and downstairs.
All right, our window already.
Alexander from St. Louis, Missouri. Black and red trunks, camouflage. For Joeshon James, fighting out of Sacramento, California. He has gone 2-0-2 in his last 4 fights, all against unbeaten opponents.
Yeah, he's not lollygagging in his career, man. He literally takes on all comers, doesn't turn down fights.
And comes in as the B side as well. Yeah. Comes out with draws, which
and wins
a lot of times means you won.
And knocked out then 12-0 Richard Brewer Jr. back in September of 2022. That was late in the fight. 7th round of one scheduled for 8 like we have here tonight. We are getting rounds here so far on this special Friday night edition, Wednesday night fight.
Alexander tried to end the round there.
Yeah.
With that right hand, he tried to load it up. Little shots. Yeah. Little shots back from Joeshon James. Again, I'll give him credit. He's not going away from the game plan. Keeps those shots nice, compact, short, and snappy. Doesn't let that pressure from Alexander make him come undone, even in the moments where Alexander does have some success.
You know what impresses me about Joeshon is he stays low when he's on his way out. A lot of times taller guys will get tall, get long, and pull straight back. He doesn't do that.
It's one of those fights that really you take a lot out of if you're able to come out of it with a win. A guy like Vaughn Alexander, you know, it's good rounds, worthwhile rounds to spend time in the ring with a guy like Vaughn Alexander, who is, you know, got so many veteran tricks.
Yeah, 8 rounds of Vaughn Alexander is like 3 fights.
Yeah, it's one of those necessary steps you take when you're a prospect. Take on guys like this. You gotta know how to beat them, but also whenever you beat them, it won't be just a cakewalk. You'll be learning some things on the way out.
Oh, nice short chopping right hand over the top for Joeshon James.
And for James, the setbacks, a handful of them have been against unbeaten fighters as well. So pardon me for Alexander. So he has been in tough. Had that long break from 2004. to 2016, has stayed busy since then. 30 seconds on the clock, round 6.
Seems like the last 30 seconds is when Vaughn Alexander always comes on.
Yeah, if he would just cut off the ring, though, as you can see, the concerted effort Joeshon James makes to escape to the left.
Body, looking for that uppercut again was Showtime.
But you alluded to it earlier, Champ. Joeshon stays very calm, stays within himself, sticks to the game plan. Even when things aren't going his way, he still stays calm.
Ooh, nice way to finish the round for Joeshon James.
Bigger guy. You can walk him down. Yeah, he's starting to slow down, yeah. Start walking him down. Keep your hands up while you're walking him down, all right? Start going forward. Pushing the fight.
Talked at the top of the show about ProBox TV's acquisition of BoxingScene.com. Guys, I think years from now we will be able to reflect and see that ProBox TV was the perfect fit to carry forward the BoxingScene.com brand, take it to new heights while we continue to display our passion, dedication, and integrity to build it. And what BoxingScene.com has done to make it a leader in the sport.
Come on, gentlemen.
Big announcement today, many more to come. It's our second of 5 fights tonight, round number 7. Right hand landing at the end of last round from Showtime. You hear the corner saying, bring the right hand again.
We'll fight now.
And Vaughn saying, come on, bro, because he keeps getting that forearm. Basically letting Joeshon know as well as the ref know, hey, man, you know, that forearm keeps sticking in my face like that. It's illegal.
In tight, 1-2 from James.
You can see, oh, beautiful body shot. Left hook right under the elbow. Lands by Joeshon James. Vaughn's protected that side now.
Yeah, he might have felt it a little bit. But he's a veteran. He's not going to show it to you, but
Hey, we can see it. I don't think Joeshon can.
Well, he's a tough out, to say the least. And he's been working the body like he did right there.
Vaughn landed a couple good body shots in the last few seconds himself.
Yeah, that's another one right there.
That snap right once and then twice.
You know how it works, though, Chin. Sometimes you get it with a good body shot. It reminds you to go to the body, too.
Yeah, exactly.
You might want you to
Oh, yeah, I forgot we can hit you there. Forgot those hurt.
Midway point of the 7th.
That's one thing about guys like Vaughn Alexander that are very durable and have good chins. Go down to that body, man. Go down into the basement. A lot of times that's how you get the stoppages in those guys. That's what happened in his last fight against Ian Green.
Especially when they're a little older. You know, those body shots feel even more uncomfortable.
That uppercut has landed again. And a heavy body shot on the answer from Alexander.
I tell you, Vaughn, ever since taking that body shot, has gone on a Mexican attack to the body.
Right? Well, what's that saying? Body punchers don't like it to the body. Well, guess what? No one likes it to the body. So it really works on everybody.
I don't think anybody pretty much enjoys it.
Yeah.
45 seconds, round number 7. Alexander snaps the left.
See, at times, Joeshon, when he gets tired again, walk down, he'll push into Alexander, try to create space with physical pushing. And I think that's where Vaughn was getting annoyed at times, where sometimes the forearm is used there.
Combination from Alexander.
And once in a while, Alexander will come with a little bit more weight on the shots, you know? You notice Joeshon will kind of keep it the same, keep it disciplined, short little shots. But every once in a while, Alexander will open up with some wider, harder shots. There he is again right there. He comes up short, though.
And it's usually toward the end of the round. Nice double left hook.
Touch him up, last round.
Bring the left hook. Straight hook, straight hook. They're
Last
always
round,
there
touch him
for
up,
you.
last round.
Watch the elbow, Chris.
Getting set for the 8th and final round.
Hey, if he wants to trade it, if he wants to trade, stay low.
Here's the uppercut again.
Yeah, it's a shot Joeshon has been looking for and landed at a decent amount. And if you notice, every time we show it on a replay, Vaughn does answer back. Whether it's a right hand to the head or right hand to the body, there is an answer back every time.
Yeah, that's been one of the better weapons from Joeshon all night, has been that uppercut on the inside. That's pretty much the only shot that Vaughn Alexander has not seen. You don't expect to get hit with that kind of shot on the inside from a guy with a 76.5-inch reach.
But also the recognizance of Vaughn Alexander as a veteran, a savvy veteran of the position battle, knowing that he's always in position from a defensive and offensive standpoint to fire back, whether he gets hit or whether he's able to block or be defensive.
Especially when he's getting flush on the chin the way he was with those uppercuts. Alexander has a beard.
Literally.
Literally and figuratively. Both.
Joeshon looking to both strong in this final round. He's finally starting to walk Vaughn Alexander down now. First time in the fight we're seeing him actually start to back up Vaughn Alexander a little bit.
Definitely a different pace to start this 8th and final round for Shantai.
I think it's been a solid performance for James, a performance that gives valuable experience. There's that forearm again. He might lose a point here.
Yep.
Yeah, spin-off fight. Yeah.
1.4.
Between the warnings from the ref and the complaints from Vaughn, it was bound to happen. I mean, it was getting more and more obvious.
And this one may go to the judges' scorecards.
But now Vaughn will try to make it a two-point round. You see Vaughn firing that big right hand. That might have inspired Vaughn to try to win the round and get a two-point round out of this.
Vaughn just dug a hellacious left hook to the liver. Joeshon keeping the distance now, staying low.
Glides the right hand over the chin of Alexander. 90 seconds remain.
Big right hand from Vaughn as they trade shots.
See if Alexander looks for that left again. Setting it up with the 2-1 instead of the 1-2. He was effective with it earlier.
Yeah, I agree with you, champ. Joeshon has been very impressive tonight, showing a lot of savvy, good pop in his punches. He's got a very experienced guy in front of him.
Yeah, and he's making him go through, basically use all the weapons. You know, the ring, the various punches, the ability to have to choose what punches to throw and what punches not to throw, how to throw them. These are all things Vaughn Alexander has forced Joeshon to go through tonight. This kind of decision-making. Big shot there from Vaughn.
There's that left.
Oh, man, Vaughn Alexander's coming on now.
Final minute of this fight.
Is it too little, too late, or will he create a miracle here in the last round?
Remember, Vaughn wants a two-point round here. You know, if he wins the round, it's a two-point round. It's because Joeshon has lost the point for that forearm.
25 seconds.
Yeah, Vaughn can feel it. He's coming forward.
10 seconds, baby. 10 seconds.
That point deduction makes the math a little bit more tricky.
Time.
And they go the distance. That forearm shiver was evident throughout the fight, and finally in the final round, the point deduction.
Yeah, there it was. You see there he steps in with it, and that's where the referee had it up, and that's what Vaughn was complaining about too. He puts it out there, but then he steps in using his forearm, and he kind of, you know, will push you back with that forearm, and it's illegal and it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's one thing to put it out to block punches, which he was doing as well, but when you're, like you said, Jeff, if you're stepping in with it, that elbow is like a knife. That could do a lot of damage to a guy's face.
Yes, sir.
Pick it up in round 2.
And you saw the uppercuts from both hands there. You see with the left hand, a lot of times we saw the right hand uppercut from Joeshon James. There was a left hand uppercut. but you never saw Joeshon James come out of pocket. You see them even with when the successful moments of Vaughn Alexander came. You see another uppercut there from Joeshon James. You see Joeshon James continue to try to keep things short. There's a pot shot right hand that was successful for him for most of the night as well, champ.
Yeah, early on it was mostly Joeshon landing really good shots, keeping the distance, fighting at mid-range. Vaughn was taking a little bit of time to warm up and get going. But in those middle rounds, Vaughn was coming on, especially late in the rounds, throwing big salvos back and forth, ending the rounds good. But Joeshon was doing the majority of the work throughout the rounds. Here we see a lot of good back and forth action. Very tick-for-tat type of exchanges in the last couple rounds. Good body shot there by Joeshon, yeah.
It just felt like the consistency was more on the part of Joeshon James, the younger fighter, so that's not a surprise. But I do think that Vaughn had some good moments, and if he would have cut off the ring and kept Joeshon from going to his own left, which was to Vaughn's right, I think Vaughn would have increased the amount of success he would have had in the fight, and it would have made the fight a lot closer. As it stands, I think Vaughn fought a respectable fight, but I think Joeshon outworked him, and was a little bit. The youth ended up winning the fight for him essentially.
Let's see how the judges had it.
Scorecards are in to make it official. Jim Sorensen.
Ladies and gentlemen, 8 rounds of boxing action here on ProBox TV brings us to the judges' scorecards. And it is official, with all 3 judges in sync tonight, scoring the fight 78-73. Shami Shipman, James O'Connor, Efren LeBron all score this 78-73 for a unanimous decision. For Showtime, Joeshon James.
Joeshon James moves to 9-0-2. Victorious by unanimous decision in his ProBox TV debut. Don't forget, still to come in our co-main event of the evening, Emiliano Moreno, 8-0 against 7-0 Axl Melendez. So a battle of unbeatens. Earlier, our Beatrice Calise visited with Moreno, and now it is Melendez's turn.
We have an undefeated fight tonight in the welterweight division here at ProBox TV, and I have the Homo sapiens here. Why do we have the honor of that nickname?
Well, in these days we treat each other like animals, so we have to treat each other like more human. I understand that we are humans.
Okay, so why did you become a fighter? What was your inspiration?
I was bullied when I was a little kid, very much. So I become a fighter because I want to show all the youth that is coming up that fighting in the streets is not all. We got other things to do that can help us to make us better human beings.
And what are we going to see tonight from you in the ring of ProBox TV?
Well, from me, it's going to be a war. I know that he has his plan and his team, but with God by my side, I know that he's going to be a great war.
Thank you so much. Back to you.
So the other unbeaten who will be featured in our co-main event of the evening later tonight, and then in our main event, it is Ramon Cardenas and Israel Picazo. But coming up next, the Nigerian Pitbull takes on the Brazilian. This is ProBox TV. Welcome back to ProBox TV, your boxing channel. Mike Goldberg, Chris Algieri, the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi, and one of our favorite fighters to ever grace this ring right here, Bulletproof, Brandon Glanton. How are you, my friend?
I'm amazing. How you doing?
I'm perfect. Hey, congratulations on the big win that finished just a couple of weeks ago.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Hey, show us that hardware.
A little something here.
There we go.
Nice. How does it feel to get back to your winning ways?
Man, you know what? It feels pretty good. I'm just glad to be here, ready to get back and do it again. It's all, like I told you before, that's all I do. So
What's the plan for 2024?
World title, Chris Billum.
Chris Billum.
Chris Billum.
All right.
Chris Billum Smith,
Chris
Brandon
Billum.
Glanton. That would be a very good one. And of course, when David got the nod, he went over and fought a Coley. Billum Smith beat a Coley. So now you don't mind going over to the UK and taking care of business?
No, let's do it. Let's do it. If we can't get Billum, maybe Zerto. We'll see how that goes.
Brandon is an honorary European at this point. He just came from France, got a win. He's ready to go back to England and fight for the world title now after picking up the international title.
Fought in Dubai. Refs said, good job, judges, not as much. But the one thing about you, Brandon, is, and we talked a lot during it, during those tough times, you didn't blame anybody else. You looked in the mirror and you said, this man right here that I see in the mirror is the man who needs to fix things.
Absolutely. Like I said before, you can't look everywhere else when you make mistakes. If mistakes were made, look at yourself first. I guarantee you'll find something. So find something to fix in yourself, then worry about everything else.
Chris, very much an attitude of, I have to take care of my business, and then the other business will take care of itself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what it's about. I mean, when you're in there, listen, you got a team behind you, but at the end of the day, you got to pull the trigger, and that's what fighting's all about.
Yeah, it's part of the maturity process. You know, you gain that veteran maturity in you, and you start to recognize certain things. You learn about certain things, both inside the ring and outside the ring, and you learn to navigate the tough waters that are a boxing career.
I call it a minefield. Dealing with boxing, because you never know where you step. It could be the right one, it could be the wrong one. But
and Brandon, one way to keep the judges out of it is the way you've done it in your last two fights. Just finish your opponent.
Finish it.
And that's what I mean. Brandon has navigated himself back into the world title picture here, and looking at a world title shot maybe later this year. We'll see.
And it started right here.
Yeah,
started right here on ProBox TV.
Yeah. Brandon Glanton, you're going to join us for this next fight because you know a little something about Apochi, seeing you fought the Nigerian Pitbull. But first, it's time to talk about Canelo Alvarez. And yeah, Paulie and Chris, a little vocal. In fact, the Magic Man was very magical in this breakdown here on ProBox TV.
Teofimo Lopez has done it. Shakur Stevenson has done it. Everyone's retiring and then they're coming back. So this is a fun one. Who do you guys think is going to be next to retire? Chris, you're going to start this round. Round two, ring the bell.
Even my soul is irritated with the judging. Even my soul is irritated with the judging.
Wow.
Man special. Keep blowing up.
Hey,
on me.
everybody notice he's got his peds out in the open? The balls on this guy. He's not even hiding it anymore.
Caffeine galore.
Caffeine and
All
sugar.
right. It went up my nose. It went on the floor.
That's the stack right there. It's caffeine and sugar. He's juiced up now.
Yeah. All right, Chris, let's get ready to ring that bell. Who's next to retire? Ring the bell to start round two.
This is going to be a hot take. It's something I said at the end of last year on my podcast, actually. The next to retire is going to be Terrence Crawford, and he's going to stay retired. He's not going to feign it. I think that he's going to have probably one more big fight this year, and then I think that's the last that we're going to see. We're going to see of the great Terrence Crawford. Most likely, he's going to retire undefeated. If he gets the Canelo fight, maybe not. But regardless, I think if he gets the Canelo fight, the amount of money he's going to make in that fight and the history of going up so many weight classes is going to solidify him.
We are set now for this cruiserweight matchup between Lucas Pereira and Efetobor Apochi. Our your tail of the tape for this 10-round cruiserweight matchup that is very close in the eyes of those who are wagering with our title sponsor, sportsbetting.ag. Apochi 11-2 in his professional career. He takes on the Brazilian, who is 7-0 with all 7 wins by knockout. Apochi now training in Nashville, Tennessee. He is 7 years the elder of his opponent and will have a significant reach advantage. Once again, with the official introductions, this one of our featured cruiserweight matchup, here is Jim Sorensen.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This next bout, we'll see 2 huge punchers go 10 rounds in the cruiserweight division. Your judges for this fight, Tito Wilgo, Shami Shipman, and James O'Connor. And the referee in charge, Alicia Collins. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black and gold trunks, weighing in at 199.4 pounds, his record, 11 wins, 2 losses, with all 11 of his wins by knockout. From Nashville, Tennessee, please welcome Efetobor, the Nigerian Pitbull, Apochi! And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black and white trunks. He weighed in at 197.8 pounds, and he is undefeated with a record of 7 wins, 0 losses, and all 7 of his wins coming by knockout. From Belém, Pará, Brazil, please welcome Lucas Pereira.
All right, General, you received your instructions in the dressing room. Obey my commands and protect yourself at all times. This is good, and right here is good, okay? Touch them up if you want to. Thank you.
A combined 18 wins for both of these competitors. A combined 18 wins by knockout. Scheduled for 10 in the cruiserweight division. Here we go. It's time to fight. Apochi in the black and gold trunks. Black and white for the Brazilian, 7-0, Lucas Pereira. Tonight, his first fight outside of his native Brazil.
Don't blink in this one. Both these guys are big punchers.
Both these guys come with a reputation. Brandon Glendon knows a little bit about Apochi, right, Brandon?
Yeah, I might know a little something about this guy. I tell you what, the Brazilian better be in shape. Better be in shape.
June 27th, 2021, you knocked Apochi down in the 6th, but he made it the distance, and you earned the split decision victory. Brandon, what really impressed you about your opponent Apochi on that night?
On that night, I can tell you he's the only person I've ever fought who had who could match me with conditioning. That's one thing I didn't expect from him. Obviously, I thought he had lackluster boxing skills, but his conditioning really surprised me. I was impressed.
That's one of those things that African fighters tend to have, right? Is very good conditioning.
He came on strong late in that fight with you, and Champ, you said the Brazilian better be in shape. He's never been past 2 rounds as a pro.
Exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah, all knockout wins.
7 fights, an average of 1.4 rounds per fight. And Brandon, that conditioning that you alluded to for Apochi is a big reason why he was able to get up in the 6th, right?
Well, if you go back and watch the fight, my own ignorance. I learned a very hard lesson that night.
We're off camera, but I love when you get that grin on your face.
I learned a very hard lesson that night. Guys listening, listen, you get somebody hurt, even when the bell rings, go to the neutral corner. If I go to the neutral corner, that referee sees him wobbling, the fight's over. But we learned a very hard lesson that night. Won't happen again.
Yeah, and it's a lesson a lot of guys would have to learn. You know, be surprised how many times you score knockdowns and the guys don't go to the neutral corner. They go to the wrong corner.
Listen, I'm in my corner. I thought it was done. The round was over. I'm in my corner. No, go to the neutral corner. Lesson learned.
But nonetheless, a victory earned on that night. Apochi and Pereira.
Both of these guys not shy. Don't feel out around here as both of these guys have let go of some hard shots here in the first round. The pace, entertaining. No surprise.
You see the physicality of Apochi. He's been able to push Da Silva across, into the ropes and land those big, heavy shots. And then Da Silva has a really nice right hand. He's been catching Apochi on the way out with big, long, straight right hands. But Apochi showed in your fight, Brandon, he's got a good chin as well. Takes a lot of damage, durable guy.
Yeah, great chin. He's consistent on his jab.
Thank you, sir.
Falar uma coisa, vamos ser inteligentes, tu vê que ele desce a pressão minha, sai da frente dele, desarma
His
ele.
father, Ulysses, in his corner, and in Apochi's corner, it is now Jared Houston. Apochi now fighting out of Nashville, Tennessee. Up to this point, he had been under the tutelage of Ronnie Shields in Houston, changed things up for this one, and we are set for round number 2. The Nigerian Pitbull in the black and gold, black and white trunks for the Brazilian.
Yeah, from what I've seen on tape, Da Silva usually comes out very, very fast. Very different fighter in this first round. Came out much more reserved.
So you're going right into that Brazilian thing that I've learned very well, as you know, Chris. Lucas Pontes da Silva Pereira. So many names.
Just so many names.
So many names. And for Apochi, Brandon, he has only had one fight since his fight with you. That is because he had a major injury to his shoulder and has been out 22 months. Picazo and Cardenas, in our main event later tonight, went to Nashville for the surgery, and it was the surgeon there who introduced him to Jared Houston, and now they are together as a team. Torn rotator cuff, labrum, didn't have insurance. Fortunately, had a lot of people support him so that he could finally have the surgery. But Brandon, you fought through a lot in life, needless to say, but man, when you tear that shoulder, that is not an easy comeback.
Tell you what, for a boxer, shoulders and hands, that's a hard one. So I'm glad to see him back in the ring, back in action, back to work. So I know he feels good about it.
22 months since his last fight. And he did go the distance in the 2 setbacks, the one that we mentioned earlier against Brandon, and then back in April of 2022 against Adrian Taylor.
Yeah, I know Adrian pretty well. Tell you what, I'm glad to see both these guys using their stick tonight and learn that from you, Polly.
Yeah, even pressure guys, you know, even when you're a puncher, it's still essential to use that jab, set up the punches. Also, you can walk a guy down with it, back a guy up, which can also, when you're a puncher, you back a guy up. It sort of increases your momentum on your own punches.
Pereira well past his average fight time of 1.4 rounds.
That was bound to happen tonight, Goldie.
Yep, 35 seconds away from seeing a round 3 for the first time as a pro. Yeah, against Apochi, you're absolutely right, Magic Man. Body head for the Brazilian.
And both guys not shy about throwing that power.
Big overhand shots from both men.
Tell you what, with Apochi, you can't just sit there and let him beat on you. You gotta give him something back. You gotta give him a reason to stop, give him a reason to get out the way.
Just missed the chin of Apochi late in this round.
Both men seem to be taking each other's power respectively, but let's see how conditioning plays a role in this fight as we go on round to round.
Você está entrando, você está começando a entrar na sua distância, está colocando, usou maldade, use maldade também.
18 combined wins, 18 combined knockouts.
Here we see some action in the corner from that last round. Both men having success throwing combinations.
Yeah,
Here we see big overhand right.
And then a backward return.
Yep.
One good overhand right deserves another, right, Brendan?
Absolutely. And if Apochi has the same level of conditioning that Brandon mentioned he had in their fight, this should be a good one as it continues. And talking about the surgery, the back-to-back defeats and making his way back, Brandon, he had a quote that I could see you saying these exact words. This fight is all about gratitude. I've gone through the dark, now I am back in the light. That sounds like a bulletproof quote.
Absolutely. I can, him making a statement like that, I understand it all too well. Unfortunately, we didn't win our fights two different ways, but he definitely battled through, so I'm very happy to see him back in here. I'm happy to see him working. If he has the same level of conditioning he had tonight with me, Lucas is going to have some problems.
Oh, especially in these uncharted waters. This being round number 3. 7 fights, and this is the first time he has gone past the second.
That's one thing about it. When you've been in those waters and you've done those rounds and you kind of swim with the sharks, you know what it takes to be there. So it feels a little unreal sitting here watching him drag himself back. So we'll see what happens.
And that's really the difference in this fight between these two fighters. Both guys are big punchers, but the experience definitely lies in Apochi's corner. He's been there. He's been there before. He's been more rounds. He's been in with tougher competition. We'll see how Da Silva goes as the fight goes on.
Yeah, but it's been pretty even so far. Both guys have been, good shot, little uppercut there from Da Silva. I think it's gonna, we're gonna see if somebody else starts to pull away in the second half. It's gonna come down to, I think, can each guy handle the other guy's pace? Because so far, they're, like you said, Champ, a round ago or so, they're taking each other's power pretty well. So we're gonna see if the conditioning of one guy can maybe overmatch the other guy in the second half of the fight. And right now,
it's a good sign. Whoever leads, the other guy counters and comes right back. So that's how you can tell that they really are taking the punches, even though they can both have knockouts and knockout punches.
I tell you what, I'd like to see how Lucas adjusts to Apochi wanting it. Apochi wants it really bad, the same way he did in our fight. I see the same type of energy from him, so I want to see how Lucas adjusts to that.
Pereira's godfather of boxing is Brazilian legend Acelino Popu Freitas. Not here tonight, but he has been a part of Lucas's and Father Ulysses' life for a long time.
Yeah, Popo probably one of maybe the most well-known Brazilian fighter, at least of my lifetime.
Yep, inducted into the International Hall.
Oh, good shot.
Late in the round.
Big swinging left hook from Apochi.
When you get a guy hurt like that, it's not necessarily that you go after him as hard as you can. Sometimes you got to take it down a gear. Keep doing what you're doing.
Don't always have to chop down the tree with one big swing, right?
Yeah. That hook at the end of the round may have, been the round winner for him, though. See some blood coming out of the nose of Da Silva. See the replay, a little uppercut there. That's also a nose buster. Speaking of nosebleeds, right? There's another one.
Another one.
Yeah,
Tricky shots.
You're seeing all the reasons why Da Silva's nose is bleeding. Then a good hook from Apochi as well. Good close in a round.
Hey, Da Silva's 7-0, 7 knockouts. Got good power. He's got a good chin, too, because he got hit with 3 big shots there by a serious puncher.
You know who else almost got hit there? Alicia Collins, the referee.
It's impressive to see him moving his head after he's done punching. That's one adjustment he couldn't make in our fight.
One thing is very evident, and we know you well, Brandon, but just from the tone of your commentary with us about Apochi, he's a man who earned your respect, isn't he?
Oh, he definitely earned it. He went through some things. He went through some things that night, so for him to gotten up off those ropes.
Oh! Trying to finish it right here, right now.
I tell you, Da Silva has a good chin, though, man. He takes it well. Ready to fire back. Now he's throwing some combinations.
Pontes da Silva Pereira.
Good jab from Apochi. I like how he's going back to the jab after landing big power.
Beatrice has visited with both unbeaten fighters. They'll be featured next in our co-main event of the evening. Emiliano Moreno and Axl Melendez. Round number 4.
Well, surprise, surprise, we have a shootout on ProBox.
Right?
Neither guy intimidated by the other guy's power. That's what's interesting, too. Both guys have tasted each other's power, and neither guy is taking a step back saying, you know what, maybe let me be careful. Actually, they've thrown more caution to the wind since taking each other's power.
And we were talking about knockouts. I mean, Freitas had a streak of 29 straight knockouts.
I remember that, man.
Yeah, I do too. When he came stateside, we were like, who is this guy? Just 100% knockout percentage.
And then Apochi moved to Houston, Texas from Nigeria with Nigerian Olympian heavyweight Efetobor after the 2016 Olympic Games.
What a matchup between these two. Whichever guy lands a particular punch, the other guy comes right back with the same punch. Oh, you hit me with a right hand? Cool, I'm gonna hit you with a right hand. You hit me with a left hook? I'm gonna get you with my left hook.
And Silva with a combination that backs up Apochi.
Big step up for Pereira. Apochi traps him in the corner.
And when Apochi has Da Silva along the ropes, he gets a lot of good work done.
Now that Apochi living in Nashville, Ricardo Celis during the fight interviews asked him if he liked country music. And Efetobor said he listened to country music in high school in Nigeria, and everybody thought he was weird.
I guess he went where they make country music, I guess. And Jermaine Taylor used to like country music, I remember. Ex-middleweight champion. Oh, good combination there by Apochi.
Apochi mixing things up nicely here in the 4th.
Now you got a Jogba's name in my head, Goldie. I almost said a Jogba there.
Yeah, Brandon, you can see that Apochi has improved since you guys fought. He's throwing feints in there. He's using that lead stick in between power combinations. He's moving his head afterwards, like you mentioned, like that.
Absolutely, a guy like that. Wow, good shot. He took it with no problem. A guy like that, he goes to school when something happens. He doesn't just sit and wallow in it. He goes to school. So I'm not surprised to see that one bit.
Good action last round, man. Both guys throwing their share of power. Nice little hook there from Da Silva, and on the button, right on the face. Da Silva says, "You want to back me up? Take that right here." Right hand, and then a hook. And Apochi doesn't take a step back. He's looking to keep pressuring after that.
I tell you what, I'm glad to see him take a hook better than he used to.
Well, it's not a Brandon Grattan hook, you know.
Not at all. Oh, but seriously, if you look at both guys in the corner, Apochi's relaxed.
Don't be here.
Yeah. He caught his breath.
Oh, yes,
It's a different world this guy's in.
Yeah, Da Silva bleeding out of the nose, you know, it could affect his breathing a little bit. Let's see as we, you know, get closer to the second half of the fight here, how the pace starts to affect both guys.
First fight for Apochi under the mentorship of Jared Houston in Nashville. Coach Houston said he's the most coachable guy I've ever had. And right on cue, he goes to the body.
Sneaky body shot. Back Da Silva down. You take it to the head, you go to the body. And what Goldie, I was saying, the second half of the fight, the pace of the second half of the fight may prove to be the difference. And Apochi starting things out well in round 5, right, just as we start to get close to that second half of the fight.
11 wins, 11 finishes for the Nigerian Pitbull.
Yeah, both guys have a 100% knockout ratio in their wins. Difference is Apochi has 2 losses as well. One of them to get to the guy sitting right next to me, Brandon Glenn.
Picking up the pace here.
Yeah, Apochi's motivated. He has scored that knockdown.
I don't know. If we see him performing like this, we might see a Glenn Apochi too.
I was just thinking the same thing.
I don't think anybody will complain.
Maybe Apochi saw his good friend Bulletproof sitting next to you, Paulie.
Yeah. He might be wanting to show off to you his new improvements, Brandon.
Yeah, let's see it.
Good round here from Apochi, starting out with the knockdown. And Da Silva looks more uncomfortable on the inside.
And the pace showcases the conditioning that you talked about earlier, Brandon.
Yeah, he's definitely keeping that punch count up, making him count. Like how he's working head, body, head, body, head, body.
And Apochi refusing to let De Silva clinch, and that's the thing too. That's part of the psychology, not just physical here. He refuses to let him rest. And De Silva having himself a very, very tough round, probably the most one-sided round of the fight so far, as Apochi keeps bringing that pressure.
That's one thing I thought Lucas may take a look at. Apochi's a guy, you can't let him go forward. You can't let him get his weight behind his punches, because if you look at all his knockouts, he's going forward. He's getting all that body weight into you. So you definitely got to stop a guy like that from coming forward, get him on his back foot.
Yeah, that's how you were successful, Brandon, that fight. You were able to push him back. You were leading the charge with your conditioning. Took the power away from the puncher. Wow, big left hook. Big left hook from Silva.
Silva in very uncharted and now deep waters.
Here we go.
And it is all over. Just like that.
Good stoppage.
The Nigerian Pitbull returns to its winning ways.
Good stoppage.
Yeah, no complaint from De Silva as well. So the beginning of the round, that body shot right there, that folds De Silva over. Follow up, he was already going down from the body shot though. And then right there it is again, we're chopping right. It looks like it kind of slices him across the stomach.
Those scraping shots really hurt. You saw the facial expression of De Silva.
Yeah, and then the rest of the round he was just uncomfortable. And then now Apochi realized it. That killer instinct came around, and Apochi kept throwing and throwing and throwing. And De Silva, body shots will take the will to fight out of you, and that's what Apochi did to De Silva tonight, man. He just wore him down, and that body shot you could see changed the body language of De Silva and took away all the will that De Silva had to want to continue to fight. There's no complaints from the stoppage.
No, we spoke about conditioning. We spoke about experience. Apochi brought that tonight. He was picking up the pressure, stayed on top of De Silva. You could see De Silva looking very uncomfortable. He was fighting back well, like you said, Jim. Once that body shot scraped his guts, that was it.
Yeah, that was the thing, man. I was curious how the second half of the fight would start to shape up. We didn't get to it. We came up just short of the second half of the fight. But you see Apochi with the pace, with the body attack, that managed to turn the tide in a fight where neither guy was really respecting the other guy's power. All of a sudden, that turned quick when the body shot landed.
12-2, 12 KOs.
And look where Bulletproof is made it to. Yep, through the ropes and in the ring.
Different kind of respect when you spend time in a ring together.
You got that right.
And Brandon in the ring, they were, it was a little bit of jawing. We might see a part 2 here.
And Apochi obviously doesn't realize how nice Brandon
respectful,
was.
Yeah.
It was complimentary of him, actually. But you know what?
They're both competitors.
You know what? Apochi is one of his 2 losses are against Brandon Glenn. He might want to. We might do this again.
So Apochi, 12-2, 12 finishes. He gets the win in his first fight in 22 months after the major shoulder surgery.
Hey man, I wouldn't mind seeing a part 2 with Glenn and Apochi, man. That first fight was
fun.
Was fun to watch.
Bulletproof with the Nigerian Pitbull. I'll take it on a Wednesday night on ProBox TV. Let's make this one official. Here's Jim Sorensen.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at the ProBox Event Center, you've witnessed a heavy-hitting fight between 2 fantastic fighters. But the win at 2 minutes, 33 seconds in round number 5 by technical knockout. Your champion, Efetobor, the Nigerian Pitbull, Apochi.
Marvin Houston was in the corner, Jared Houston's father. And Jared, very pleased with the performance that we're seeing back through the highlights right here, right now.
Yeah, fun shootout between 2 big punchers. Neither man had a feeling out round. They came out firing back and forth, great combinations. And really, it was going to be a question of whose chin was going to hold up, whose conditioning was going to prevail. And as the fight wore on, it was just the pressure of Apochi. Oh, and now we have
Well, now we really might get part two.
We had a little pushing going on between Bulletproof and the Pitbull. Here's what happened a second ago.
I don't think Brandon's going to be too complimentary anymore.
Yeah. No, I think that respect has changed now.
But you know what? I don't think anybody will mind if these guys fight again. No. First one was a good fight. It was a split decision, right, Goldie?
Yeah.
And you know, maybe the knockdown was the difference in that fight. And you know what? Both have now had.
Both have improved as well.
Been impressive and improved since then. Apochi back from the injury. A very impressive win tonight. You know what, man?
Sign me up.
Sign me up for that, yeah.
Sign me up.
It will go right along the script for a great Wednesday night fight. Look, they're saying in the corner they want this fight next.
Yeah.
Apochi's team wants to fight next.
Well, Paulie, let me do this. We'll do our open. Hi again, everybody. Joined by my powerful partners, Paulie Malignaggi, Chris Algieri. Our main event of the evening, Bulletproof Brandon Clatton and Efetobor Apochi. It is a rematch here on ProBox TV.
Yeah,
Paulie, tell us about Bulletproof.
Yeah, we may get it, man, after this. And you know what Bulletproof was saying?
If we do
himself,
it right, we won't have to do an open for that show.
That's true. We do it right now. But you know what? Bulletproof is also a guy that had said while he was sitting here, if he keeps going looking like this, we may get part two of us. And you know what? After that happened, we may just might get a part two.
We got a storyline built in.
All right.
Both guys seem to want it. Why not?
And Chris, when you talk about
Apochi wants Glanton next. Apochi stops Barbie, taps me on the shoulder, and says, "I want Glanton next." And Glanton's the one that said during his fight, if he keeps looking like this, we may get part two. I think they'll both agree there's a part two. What's up? We have Joel Diaz here, esteemed trainer, with us now.
Welcome.
Sitting in.
All right, we'll check in with Joel Diaz in a moment. First and foremost, let's talk about the main event still to come, because it is Picazo and Cardenas, trained by Joel Diaz. Backstage, here is Beatrice.
Israel Picazo, eres uno de los boxeadores del evento estelar de esta noche en ProBox TV. Primero que todo, ¿qué se siente ser discípulo de Nacho Beristain?
Hola, ¿qué tal? Buenas noches. Pues es un honor para mí ser discípulo de Don Nacho, es una gran responsabilidad también, pero más que nada una motivación de que una persona como él confíe en mí.
He's one of the fighters of the main event of the evening, and he's saying that it's an honor to train with Nacho Beristain. Now, the winner of the fight might go for a world championship against Naoya Inoue. Are you ready for that?
Yes, I'm ready. Estoy listo para pelear con él en cualquier momento. Esta pelea va a ser, voy a demostrar de lo que soy capaz y solamente estamos esperando la oportunidad para aprovecharla al máximo.
So he's ready for his fight, he's been preparing for it, and he's ready to show everything that he has in the ring. Now, last question, what's the 2024 looking like for you?
I'm sorry, ¿cómo?
What's this year, 2024, looking en español? ¿Cómo luce el 2024 para ti?
Luce un año, iniciamos con el pie derecho, yo pienso. Es una gran oportunidad hoy, entrenamos bien, tenemos un buen campamento, un buen equipo, Don Nacho en mi esquina. No me siento confiado, pero estoy seguro del trabajo que hice y va a ser una muy buena pelea.
He's very excited for tonight. He has a little bit of nerves, but it's normal. He's confident in what he's being told by Nacho Beristain. He's willing to put all the work in tonight in the main event of the evening. Muchísimas gracias por acompañarnos. Ha sido un placer. Voy con ustedes.
Beatrice, thank you very much. That is our main event later tonight on ProBox TV. Mike Goldberg, my powerful partners, Chris Algieri, Paulie Malignaggi, the great trainer, Joel Diaz. Joel, I have this one for you. Is Picazo talking about maybe his next fight? In a way, you would probably think Ramon is in his way before he starts thinking about that.
Well, as a fighter, he has to think ahead, but, you know, he has a tough task in front of him tonight, and that's Ramon Cardenas.
So it's a great story with Ramon. He came out, made a trip, drove a long way, You liked what you saw, and now you've taken him into your stable.
Well, I have a stable of elite fighters, and it's hard for me to take another fighter that is not worth my time. So when I saw his potential, I said, wow, this kid has exactly what I want as a fighter, you know. He's entertaining, he has power, he's educated, very humble kid, and main key, he's very disciplined. And tonight you guys are going to see very different Ramon Cardenas.
He got out of the car, guys, driving from San Antonio to California to try out for Joel. And Joel, you didn't wait. You put him right in there, didn't you?
Well, at the time, I had a kid in camp who is now fighting Raymond Ford on March 2nd, 126-pounder. His name is Otobek. Very tough Uzbek kid. He was Gervonta Davis' sparring partner. And I put him in with him. I said, let me see what you got, you know. And if you're gonna test yourself, you're gonna test yourself with somebody that is really worth, you know, the try. So he impressed me. And I said, man, this kid, 122-pounder against a 126-pounder, and he went in there 6 rounds. And after a long drive, because he drove from Texas with his father, and the same day, they work in the gym, and the same day I put him in there. So he convinced me. And this camp, he had a 8-week camp every day, very punctual in the gym. Train hard, different sparrings. I mean, and he was actually knocking down sparring partners that I had there. You know, like, wow, you know, he has dynamite. I mean, his name, Dinamita, says it. And, you know, for me to take him into my team, he needed to convince me. And believe me, I'm glad that he's in my team.
Joel, did you know he was coming, or did he just show up after
No. Mike Miller and I, we've known each other for a while since Bradley, because Mike Miller and Cameron Duncan were managing Bradley back then. So I built a good relationship with Mike Miller. And I got a call from Mike and says, hey, you know, I have a kid. I would like for you to work with him. And I said, well, I need to see him. He goes, when do you have time? I said, any time. Just send him in. I thought he was going to fly him into California. He made him drive. He goes, hey, you're going to drive over there? So him and his father drove in from Texas to California, and since that moment on, he's part of my team.
That's great. I mean, I really like a lot of the things that he does in the ring. He's very, very slick. He's tricky. He's a good puncher. What do you guys expect from Picazo in this fight? I mean, this is a big matchup with a lot of implications for the future.
Well, Picazo needs he's gonna need to work extra to step up to the level of Cardenas tonight. I saw some videos, his last fight, his previous fight, and he doesn't have speed. He's a warrior. He's a Mexican fighter, you know, like every other Mexican. He's a tough kid. He gets in there and exchanges. I've seen him get dropped. I mean, he doesn't have spectacular speed, and I mean, his boxing ability is, to me, is not the best, but he's a good fighter. Comparing to Cardenas is very slick. He has really good reflexes. He moves, he's slick, and every punch comes with power.
So you're saying Cardenas does everything Picazo does a little bit better than Picazo?
Yes.
So you think it's going to be a different level tonight?
Yes, tonight, I mean, the plan that we got, we work on a really good plan. Just watching Picazo, and if he follows the plan, this fight will not go around.
You just stole my thunder. Well, really, it's your thunder, Joel, because you said it in the fighter interviews. But I was going to ask you that same thing, because you said if he does stick with the game plan, and you talked about his discipline, you don't expect 10 rounds.
I don't expect 10 rounds because I've seen it. And, you know, we put the plan together. We follow it day by day. Even this morning, I told him, hey, this is Nacho Beristain style, you know. And this is, you walk this way, you punch this way. And that's where we go. And he's been following it really well. And, you know, to me, it's an honor being here. You know, having Nacho Beristain in the opposite corner, to me, is always an honor. You know, we've been in the ring before. And, you know, we want to give the people the best fights. You know, and I think tonight, they're going to see a great fight for the fans.
It is absolutely our honor to have you here, Joel, tonight, especially with the big announcements that we have, and we cannot wait for the main event and a chance to see Ramon under your tutelage officially for the first time.
Thank you. No, it's an honor for me being here. It's the first time here, and hopefully we keep coming back with some of our fighters to see what we got.
We're on every 2 weeks, man. So we got.
I want to keep coming back.
Plenty of dates. Come on.
We can take care of it, and we won't make you drive either.
Thank you.
All right. The great Joel Diaz, his fighter Ramon Cardenas, part of our main event of the evening. Still to come, that is for the WBC ProBox Super Bantamweight title. Joel Diaz's fighter against Nacho Berenstein's fighter. But up next, it is our co-main event here on a Wednesday night. ProBox TV Wednesday Night Fights, brought to you by sportsbetting.ag.
Ramón Dinamita Cárdenas, el otro protagonista del evento estelar de esta noche. Ramón, ¿a qué debemos tu apodo de Dinamita?
A Juan Manuel, o sea, mi ídolo Juan Manuel, y pues quise tener el nombre de él.
So his nickname is Dynamite, just Juan Manuel Márquez. Why do you call yourself that? Do you think your technique is similar to his?
Not necessarily. I just I like to give a show. You know, I try to bring knockouts for the people to enjoy, and that's why I named myself that.
Ramón, manejaste casi mitad del país para entrenar con Joel Diaz. You drove almost half of the country to train with Joel Diaz. Why was your motivation? ¿Qué fue lo que te motivó?
Quiero ser campeón del mundo. O sea, quiero ser campeón del mundo y pues hay que hacer sacrificios.
He wants to be world champion. That's why he did it. Now, el ganador de este evento puede ir a una pelea de título mundial con Naoya Inoue. The winner of this fight can go to world championship against Naoya Inoue. ¿Estás listo para esto? Are you ready for this?
Of course. I mean, if I wasn't ready, I wouldn't be here. You know, when they told me that it's going to be a title eliminator, I was excited. So I worked my whole life for this, so I'm just going to take advantage of it.
¿Cuál va a ser la clave de la victoria para esta noche, para ti, para poder ganar este duelo?
Nomás, o sea, ser como yo, o sea, no tratar de ser alguien más, o sea, yo pelear como siempre peleo y yo pienso que con eso.
Voy a ustedes.
Beatrice, thank you very much. That is our main event still to come. Set for our co-main event. Our tail of the tape for this 8-round welterweight matchup. Emiliano Moreno is just 18 years old. So we have our second 18-year-old on the card here tonight. He is the taller of the two fighters. The reach is virtually identical. So are the records. 8-0 and 1 no contest. 7-0 for Puerto Rican Axl Melendez. Tonight, his first career 8-round fight. So it is Moreno and Melendez stepping up with Jesus Saracho's fight against Starling Castillo falling through. We will have that matchup in probably Apochi and Glanton 2 still to come. Stay tuned on ProBox TV or get all the details at boxingscene.com. 8-rounder in our co-main event. With the official introductions of these unbeaten battlers, Jim Sorensen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your co-main event of the evening is about to occur. This event features two undefeated young fighters who are here to give you a fantastic show. This bout is scheduled for 8 rounds in the welterweight division. Your judges, Efren LeBron, Tito Wilgo, and Shami Shipman. And the referee in charge is Michael DeJesus. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the blue trunks, weighing in at 145.8 pounds, he is undefeated. His record, 7 wins, no losses, with 4 wins by knockout. From San Antonio, Texas, let's hear it for Axl, the Homo sapien Melendez. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the gold and brown trunks, he weighed in at 146.4 pounds. He is also undefeated. His record, 8 wins with no losses, with 5 wins by knockout. From Long Beach, California, please welcome Emiliano Moreno.
All right, guys, the rules were told to you in the locker room and in the corner. You know what I expect. Touch gloves if you want to. If not, go back to your corner.
Set for our co-main event of the evening. First career 8-rounder for Melendez.
You got to get out of the way, actually.
He went the full 6 rounds back in March of last year here on ProBox TV. Facing off against 18-year-old Emiliano Moreno. Here we go. It's time to fight. Gold and brown trunks for Moreno, Melendez in the blue trunks.
I'm telling you, man, this has the makings of a sneaky good fight.
Mexico against Puerto Rico.
Yeah, these guys got to jump into this co-main event when Sriracha was unable to get a visa in time to cross the border and be here in the co-main event. The big opportunity for these guys, a battle of unbeatens. I mean, they were going to square off anyway, but now they got to moved up into the co-main event, so a big opportunity to impress for both Moreno and Salgado.
Yeah, but that's how deep our cards are. If we have a fight fall out, we can move up the next available, and we still have a great co-main event.
And Moreno coming off an ultra impressive 2nd round finish back in November right here on ProBox TV against previously unbeaten Daniel Lim. Facing his 3rd straight unbeaten opponent.
Salgado also coming off of a pretty good win, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he had a win in between, but he fought on our air and he beat DeMontes Duncan.
Yeah, that was a
very highly
Duncan was touted.
Very highly touted.
Duncan was 8-0.
Yeah, I remember he was on here too, man.
No, Axl could fight. He's very, very tough. He was impressive that day, or that night.
So again, you know, again, to reiterate what we bring you on ProBox, we don't just bring you good records. Because sometimes, good right hand there. Moreno pop too high on the ropes. Salgado catches them with a good right hand. It's not just good records, it's good records that have been battle tested.
Yep.
Well-earned good records.
Melendez hid that right hand very well. No fat on that punch. Really disguised that shot and was able to catch Moreno along the ropes.
Melendez, as a Puerto Rican, Paulie, he's doing the multiple name thing like the Brazilians. Axl Melendez Salgado.
So which one are we picking tonight, guys?
I think we used Melendez last time.
We did.
Just for the continuity, we'll go Melendez.
We'll go Axl.
I call him Axl. I mean, it's a cool first name.
His mama called him Axl. We're gonna call him Axl.
I want to say Axl Foley, but I hope most of our audience knows who Axl Foley is, by the way.
Rose.
Yeah.
And Moreno, the bigger man, taller, longer, needs to be careful going straight back, though, especially with that lead hand down. That's why he got caught with that right hand along the ropes before.
The Eddie Murphy throw back in there as well.
Yeah, and the Guns N' Roses throw back.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses. Welcome to the Jungle is my favorite song, Paulie.
Oh, good exchange here.
They trade right hands there.
Chiefs can enjoy their celebration. Joe Burrow's going to be healthy next year.
Look out.
I'm already ready, baby.
Tírale, cámbiase, la pintas abajo, tírale arriba, mijo, ¿eh?
Sí, bro.
Doble jab, va, se está haciendo para atrás.
Tú también lo estás haciendo, no queremos pasos atrás, queremos laterales para los lados, ¿ok? Movimiento para los lados, nada para atrás, ¿ok? Yeah, big voladito. He's going straight back, he's doing this all the time. Long, so
good start.
Good right hand on the ropes there. It's Moreno up too high on the ropes. You want to keep a low target on the ropes. Moreno doesn't get down. And Melendez with a nice right hand. Big scoring shot.
And Melendez was smart there. He didn't load up on that punch. Threw it nice and straight, right behind the jab. Disguised it well.
Yeah, when a guy's up that high on the ropes, you just got to land the shot. It looks even if you make it look worse than it is, it's great for the crowd, it's great for the judges, and probably want him around there.
Well, good on him for not getting greedy and trying to load up on a big shot.
Melendez always staying prepared. Took this fight on a week's notice. Opponent change, obviously, for Moreno. But his upset win of 8-0, Demontes Duncan here on ProBox TV, was also a fight that Axl took on short notice.
Yeah, but I had said when I had heard about this fight, I said, well, if Axl's in shape, you know, he's a tough out no matter what. I know Emiliano Moreno is an excellent fighter and a big prospect, but Axl's no easy out for anyone.
Yeah, Moreno's got to get that lead hand working a little bit too much waiting, allowing Axl Melendez to get into a bit of a rhythm. And Moreno doing a little bit of too much waiting. And you want to start to make Melendez uncomfortable. If you make him get too comfortable, he's going to start to get into that groove that makes him very difficult to beat for all these guys he's fought.
And actually, Champ, Moreno did that in his last fight, too, on our air. He started a little slow, and then he started getting on those body shots. So before we got caught up the break last round, I was going to say, watch out for the body shots from Emiliano. Fantastic with both hands, right and left hooks.
Emiliano, trained by his father, started working and sparring with Jose Benavides Jr. at age 12.
Yeah, he's throwing those body shots in there now.
Bad intentions.
So I got to try to push him back. Trying to show him he's not respecting him.
A lot of heat coming from both these guys right now.
The Homo sapien and the revolution combined 15-0.
Yeah, that's one thing. We've seen Axl in these kinds of fights. He's back and forth. They got guys that are putting pressure. Emiliano, not so much yet. So we're going to see what he's made of tonight.
He said Axl got the nickname because he goes toe-to-toe and brings the joy to the fans.
Oh, good shot there again from Axl. You know, Moreno's got to stop trying to look for one shot at a time. He's got to get those hands moving. And you see that's exactly what Axl's doing. Axl understands the road to winning a fight. Good combination there from Moreno with the left hand, but he's got to find the range and be a bit more busy. I think you might have heard Axl with a body shot as Axl was trying to create some space for the first time in the fight.
Yeah, I think the difference in these two is going to be the power. Emiliano Moreno looks to be very heavy-handed. Bad intentions on all these punches.
On that right hand, he was thinking it. Actually, it was Moreno who said toe-to-toe, bring joy to the fans. I just think Axl agrees with that concept. And so far, so good, round two of our co-main event of the evening.
Yeah, Moreno's starting to open up a little bit now. That's what you want to see. When he's very dangerous when he gets that offense going. But Axl, again, undaunted. He goes tit for tat with you, man. He's not intimidated.
Listen for the bell. Listen for the bell. Ah, don't go punches.
Tira recio. Tú agarra tus puntos y muévete, mijo. No te le quedes enfrente. Que entre más te quedas enfrente son de tirar sus golpes fuertes. Él tiene piernas lentas, mijo. Él tiene piernas lentas. Pum, pum, no tienes que ser tanto. Pum, pum, muévete y para acá, y para cuerpo y para arriba, laterales.
February 28th, Wednesday night fights here on ProBox TV, brought to you by sportsbetting.ag. Our main event, 17-1, Justin Paldo, looking to move to 3-0 here on ProBox TV. His opponent, former world title contender, 30-2, Miguel Medueno, plus Najee Lopez and the Black Buffalo, Muhammad Samora. Back to Wednesdays on the 28th of this month. Mike Goldberg, my powerful partners. The former two-time world champion, the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi, former world champion, Chris Algieri. This is our co-main event of the evening.
And we got a firefight once again. These guys are going back and forth with big shots, bad intentions, fast hands. Both men are hungry to win. But what else is new? That's what you have to expect on a ProBox TV card.
And Chip, you mentioned how Moreno probably has the power advantage, but Axl Melendez putting those combinations together, and he puts together some really uncomfortable combinations. He puts you in tough spots. Moreno trying to take away that enthusiasm with his own power punch attack.
Yeah, Melendez actually, good body shot. Melendez is, he's very good at fighting a taller man. He's working up the body, starts low, brings it upstairs, changes up his heights. Like you said, Champ, lets his hands go very well, throws in some tricky punches as well.
The shorter of the two, the reach virtually identical.
A lot of pressure and body work coming from Moreno, though.
Moreno just 18 years old. Passed the previous toughest test of his career, the aforementioned win over 10-0 Daniel Lim. This one in round 3.
Oof, man, these guys are digging.
Yeah, these guys are going toe-to-toe here. The thing with Salgado, he's got to, if you're going to deal with a guy who's so much of more of a power puncher, you got to make sure he's not getting off as much. It seems like Salgado at times is taking turns. He's throwing maybe more shots and more combinations, but he's allowing Moreno to then get off right after that. He's got to take the initiative to keep Moreno from getting off like that, because a guy who throws that hard and punch hits that strongly may be able to hurt you. And this is how you do it. This is how you do it, by Salgado changing range like this. Although Moreno gets off there.
And Moreno is just so much bigger. Yeah. He's a really big welterweight. Oh, those body shots.
He continues to go to the body. Now the right. Answered, though, by Melendez. We got ourselves a fight.
Yeah, for sure. Some of the steam coming off those shots from Axl as those body shots are having an effect.
Short notice for the Homo sapien, Axl Melendez. Again, though, body over the top. Left hand, and now the answer from Moreno.
Two warriors going at it.
Yeah. The body attack opening up the head attack for Moreno, but Axl undaunted, he's gonna fire back.
Guys, this is exactly why we were able to move this fight appropriately into the co-main event spot.
Yeah. And this is why we're your boxing channel. We look for these kind of matchups. For the entertainment of the fans at home, we look for these kind of fights consistently. 50-50 fights. Good fighters and great fights, and here we are again.
Chris, Melendez sneaks in that uppercut very well.
He's tricky, man. Really good technical inside fighter. Crowd's happy tonight.
You got that right.
Estás haciendo bien, digo, quiero más movimiento. Él se planta y es donde él tira fuerte. Tú moviéndote con las manos como quieras, digo, okay?
I'll do it after.
Okay, tienes que moverte, pegar.
You may have a beard, but what do you do when you take these type of body shots?
Well, Moreno has been very consistent to the body. I said from the outset, watch out for the body punches from Moreno. He throws with bad intentions, and he's consistent with the body shots. That's how you break a guy down as a fight wears on.
Born and raised in Long Beach, California, trained in Las Vegas for this fight.
Okay, ponele presión, pero don't stay in front of him. Pum, pum, pum. Water on him.
Just 18 years old. His opponent, Axl Melendez, 29 years old. Our co-main event continues. Round number 4. And they come out firing again.
This is one of those fights. It's going to be will versus will. Who's going to break? Who's going to fold?
And then Moreno's got to be careful. Have to back up straight. Salgado got him backing up straight, and here he goes again. He's up high on the ropes again, guys. That's the same mistake he made earlier.
And he just doesn't have the same power that way either when you're backed up straight like that. Melendez getting the better of these exchanges.
Yeah, Melendez trying to make it a battle of attrition. He figures if he can back up the puncher, like you said, Champ, he's not going to have the same kind of power. Also, he's smothering Moreno's power here. Moreno throwing hard, but a bit smothered.
Good adjustment from the Axl Melendez camp. Axl Melendez, Salgado. Yeah, backing him up, pushing, using physical pressure to make the taller man tall.
He's 29 years old, you know, Moreno's 18 years old, so maybe the physical strength, man strength, can be the difference on those inside push battles, which will affect the ability to punch stronger for Moreno if he's being backed up.
One way to equalize man strength, though, body shots. As a kickboxer, I fought much older competition early on, and it was always the body work that leveled the playing field.
But you got to be able to find that range. Moreno right now smothering, being smothered. He's not going to get the same kind of power. There he is now starting that space.
Yeah, Axl made a good adjustment this round.
Yep.
Good left hook to the liver there from Moreno.
The way that he switched his feet and landed a moment ago, going to the kickboxing levels like the switch kick.
Yeah, good call there, Goldie. Oh, nice short right hand. Tricky shots on the inside.
That was a switch stance.
Yeah.
Salgado for the southpaw stance with a little right hook.
Man, this is awesome, guys.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is. Neither guy brought his jab tonight, so.
Paul, you don't need a jab when you're in a phone booth.
Yeah, so I was going to say, we don't even need the full range for this.
They skip the close the range part with the jab and just go right into each other's wheelhouse.
These guys could be fighting in a 4x4 ring.
There's a jab from Moreno.
Father Jaime Moreno has said about his son he loves David Benavidez.
I can see that.
Yeah, what Mexican fighter does not?
Yeah, but even
likes
stylistically.
to bang in the body shots.
Yeah, but even stylistically and the body type, very similar.
Oh, somebody lost the mouthpiece.
There was some blood from the nose of Moreno, and then the mouthpiece of Salgado just fell out. And of course, we didn't bring our smocks again from the here at ringside.
Oh, body shot there.
Oh, man.
Finding the space now.
I'll tell you what, they both generate so much power from the canvas up.
Yeah, very explosive guys, both of them. They let their hands go in combination, and I love me some combination punchers.
Another great round here in our co-main event.
Battle of attrition. Both guys digging down. Neither guy wants to give in.
Fans are loving it.
Cuídame ese balance, me tienes mucho el balance cuando tiras esas combinaciones. Tírame esas combinaciones, quédate bien paradito. Acábame con ese jab para poder acomodar todo. ¿Entiendes? Pa. Y ese jab, aquí, me gusta cuando lo picas aquí. Pum, él no puede hacer nada. You get him off balance every time you hit him here. Pum, y ahí ya prepara.
We see some action back and forth, these two. Neither man wants to take a step back. Yeah. They're literally going tit for tat. You hit me, I hit you, combination after combination. A little bit in your turn, my turn, but still great action.
We're trying to find that space on the inside, trying to create that space, even those little crevices, because it's also a physical battle on the inside, which can wear you out, champ. You know, that physical pushing back and forth.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Axl made that adjustment last round. He came right at Moreno, was pushing him, but toward the end of the round, ooh, good shot.
Counter shot. Speaking of your turn, my turn, trying to come over the top of the jab.
Moreno made an adjustment as well last round. He started moving his head like we just saw there. He's got good reactions.
They both dig deep, go body, head, on cue.
And this is what happens. You got O versus O. Neither guy wants to lose that O, and that's they're fighting like that, you know. Double hook there by Axl Salgado. Good combination in return by Moreno.
I'm telling you, I see why people are so excited about Moreno. You know, he's only 18 years old. You know, a lot of young guys who haven't been in tough fights would be folding here, and he's not at all. He is looking Melendez down the barrel and going right for it.
Little warning from the ref. Watch the clash of heads.
Oh, nice.
Right hand landing for Moreno.
Yeah, we're in the second half of this fight now, round 5. We're going to see who's going to be able to separate themselves.
Long Beach, California. Mexican descent. The Puerto Rican is 7-0. 29-year-old Axl Melendez. Good jab.
Emiliano's having a very good round. Very, very sharp. Yeah, he's backing Axl up now.
And both guys really squared on the inside, man. So there's a lot of target there for both guys. So it creates a situation where they're both pushing, shoving, fighting, and there's a lot of openings there.
And also at this kind of pace, punches. Oh, big right hand from Emiliano.
Yeah, that knocked him back, Chris.
Yeah, Melendez starting to wilt just ever so slightly.
Trying to bob and weave and avoid more damage.
Moreno's made an adjustment. He's found the timing.
Yeah, Salgado trying to smother here. He might have felt one of those shots, trying to keep Moreno from getting off so much shots. But now Salgado trying to punch back as well.
Yeah, but just not as sharp as he was earlier. I think a lot of those body shots early on, and then that right hand that landed a few moments ago, have definitely had an effect on Melendez.
Melendez recovered, and now he's throwing. Axl Melendez.
Oh, good body shot there by Moreno.
I did just watch Beverly Hills Cop a little while ago, and I just think of Axl Foley, and 90% of the people are way too young. Great round for Moreno.
Yeah, absolutely.
¿Y qué? ¿No quiere?
Don't move.
No puedes estar esperando que te pegue y luego quieres pegar. Movimiento, y entre el movimiento hay que tirar algo, mijo.
Okay, bro?
Hey, ¿cómo andas?
Don't fall asleep defensively.
Estás quedando mucho y no te paras bastante para recibir más. No, pum, moverte y pas, salirte. Yo sé que ya estás cansado, mijo, pero hay que trabajar.
Still to come, a 10-round super bantamweight matchup for the WBC ProBox title between Picazo and Cardenas.
Yeah, that action has been in a phone booth. You can fight this fight in a phone booth, and this is why, because the entire 3 minutes of every round is fought at this distance. Good shots there from Moreno from that last round, even coming off the ropes. The steam on the punches of Melendez is sort of started to come off. Let's see if Moreno can take advantage and distance himself a little bit, as this fight's been very, very competitive.
Round number 6, 4th straight fight, scheduled for 8 rounds for the 18-year-old Moreno. He has gone the distance in 2 of his last 3.
I saw a little change in the body language of Melendez Salgado as he walked back to the corner last round. He had a bad round. Emiliano was really coming on. We'll see if he can capitalize on that forward momentum he had in the last round here in round 6.
Yeah, I mean, the fight's hanging in the balance these last 3 rounds, that's for sure.
Short notice for Melendez. And if we hit the 7th, it'll be the first time in Axl's career. Tonight, the first career fight for 7-0 Axl Melendez, scheduled for 8.
Moreno, he's mean. He's bringing it. He is consistent. He's got good conditioning. He throws with bad intentions. He's made adjustments. I'm impressed with this 18-year-old young man.
Yeah, this is not an easy fight.
No, not at all.
It really tests you mentally and physically, and Moreno has been really up to the task so far.
Both these guys have been on our air before. They're both very good fighters.
We visited with Joel Diaz earlier, who will be in the corner of Ramon Cardenas in our main event. And he said of Ramon that he has anger. He fights angry in a good way. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing from Moreno again.
We got right to be mad the way he took those shots off his face from Melendez Salgado.
"60 seconds on the clock here in the 6th.
Gotta be careful though, he opens his mouth like that when he throws those punches. I remember Victor Ortiz used to punch like that and got his jaw broke by Josecito Lopez. You gotta be careful, man. Better to bite down on your mouthpiece when you're breathing out, throwing those punches, than it is to open your mouth and yell like that. May not happen today or tomorrow, but it leaves you at risk, especially at a higher level. Notice Moreno opens his mouth yelling every time he throws the punches. I don't mind the grunting, but just close your mouth. See that?
Yep. Now I can't miss it, Paulie, now that you brought it up.
Yeah, I mean, and he's very offensive. But again, I just remember Victor Ortiz was like that, and he got his jaw broke. And I remember that fight. I was at that fight.
Staying very busy, high pace from Moreno.
Yeah, he's starting to wear down Axl more and more.
Yeah, I was talking about who was going to separate. It definitely seems like Moreno, the consistency, the aggressiveness, the hard, heavy punching, the body shots are really starting to wear on Axl here at the end of round 6.
ya vea, hay condiciones, ya vea, ya vea. So you go open up the way for the right hand. Y esa derecha lo estás tocando bien aquí, después se la cambias acá, eso está perfecto. Pero I want you to keep doing it more. ¿Entiendes? Ahorita este round hay que poner, no sé qué round va, hay que poner presión en este round,
Great to have you here tonight on ProBoxTV.com, our ProBox TV YouTube channel, and of course another welcome to our viewers watching on Fubo TV, Canela, Fox Deportes, and Roger Sportsnet in Canada. Round number 7, first time in the career of Axl Melendez. Emiliano Moreno 8-0, Melendez 7-0. Moreno golden brown, and the blue trunks for Melendez. Body again from Emiliano.
Good balance from Moreno.
Yeah.
Lets those hands go in combinations. Very confident when he lets those hands fly.
Yeah. Oh, good body shot there.
Nice.
Melendez returns the favor from Moreno. The thing about Moreno, he throws everything hard, so he's got to, I think as he moves up the ladder a little bit, he's going to have to try to learn a little bit of that change-up speed just to throw the defense of some of the opponents he may run into that might be more defensive-minded. It seems like here he started to wear down the energy of Melendez Salgado, which is why every time you say that, Melendez Salgado comes back with a little salvo of his own.
Yeah, he's scrappy as hell.
Let you know what, I'm still here. But it is the first time he's gone 7 rounds, like Goldie just said, so at the pace he's gone at, let's see how he handles these next 2 rounds. This pace isn't going to slow down, especially if they stay in this phone booth.
I don't think these guys know how to fight any other way. And you had mentioned that really both of them left their jabs in the locker room, so
it's going to go in the phone booth.
Yeah, I don't think the pace is going to change.
When there's no jab, it's going to be close range.
The big announcement earlier, the acquisition by ProBox TV, BoxingScene.com, and we are here to continue their greatness and expand and evolve on it. So check out all the exciting news, the updates forthcoming. Right now, we've got a great co-main event.
Yeah, Axl has slowed down just enough so Moreno has been able to time those movements. He's landing some bigger punches at that mid and long range like that.
And one of those old must-go fights, and right now, Axl Melendez Salgado is fading more and more. Looks like looking more and more like his always going to go in a fight that was competitive for the first 3 quarters. Moreno seems to he's starting to pull away here in the 7th.
You know, it is these longer fights, after 6 rounds, you really start to see a class of a fighter start to present itself, and we're seeing that here tonight.
But must be said, though, not the first time either of these guys have been on ProBox TV, and each time they've been here, even against one another tonight, been very, very entertaining.
Oh, regardless, winner and loser will be back.
And both men with victories here on ProBox TV against unbeaten competitors.
Yeah, both were impressive their last time out, and impressive here tonight.
They figure, why not match them against one another undefeated as well?
But why not?
Well, that's the ProBox way. We don't protect the records here.
10 seconds!
I saw that coming from yesterday.
I saw it, Salgado.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 days ago, because we're on a Friday tonight.
Right, I saw that coming on Wednesday.
Listen after the bell. Punch. You gotta counter punch. The counters are hard, okay? Counters are hard. Vamos a preparar todo con ese jab, Emi. Jab. Pero vamos a ponerle poquita presión para ese jab. Bien enconchadito ese jab. Y al cuerpo, al cuerpo. Ya el morro ya no aguanta. El morro ya no aguanta, Emi.
Father talking to son.
Mismo, hay que hacer.
Coach talking to fighter.
Dale con todo, Axl.
8th and final round.
Last round.
We had Lucas Pontes da Silva Pereira. Now we have Axl Melendez Salgado and Emiliano Moreno. 3 minutes remain. Golden brown for 8-0, 18-year-old Moreno. The 29-year-old is 7-0 in the blue.
See, so I think Salgado Melendez is going to need this round here. Try to salvage maybe a draw, maybe even if that. Moreno, if he could close this round, I think would assure himself for the victory 100%. Let's see who was able to pull it off here.
Yeah, I would agree, but it looks like to me the energy levels on Moreno is much higher.
The momentum is on Moreno's side, and like we said, first time Salgado Melendez has gone 8 rounds, and in the 7th round he had a very tough round for him.
Yeah, and Moreno has not changed his speed or output at all.
Not at all. And Melendez coming in on short notice, happy to fight, and fight he has.
Jeez, if anything, Moreno's even more explosive now.
That's the thing, Moreno sometimes will give you those defensive mistakes. He makes up for it in offensive activity.
And effort, intensity.
Oh, good hook there.
His father said that he is very hard on him.
Split his ear. He complained about an elbow.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why his ear's bleeding.
Yeah, that's interesting. Busted his ear open with an elbow.
But being hard on him makes for easy work. I wouldn't call this easy work, but man, the pace that the Revolution has kept up tonight, ultra impressive.
Oh!
Melendez isn't going anywhere.
Moreno comes right back. How else could this fight end?
Yeah.
The way these guys have been going all night long. From the opening bell, no feeling out, right to work. Aye. Big shots from both guys.
What a spectacular fight.
Awesome.
Salgado trying to do a good job of smothering Moreno here.
60 seconds.
12 rounds of action in an 8-round fight.
You got that right.
Good body shot from Moreno.
Yeah. The body and then the right hook.
Oh! Man, Axl Melendez is tough. He just took some big shots. And still waving Moreno in. Oh, heavy hands. We can hear these ringside.
30 seconds. Combination from Melendez.
Both men leaving it all on the line.
Since the opening bell.
Right. Tremendous back and forth all night long.
Oh. Phone booth fight for 8 rounds, guys. I mean, this is
at a high pace.
Yeah, this is what ProBox TV gives you. Somebody else is gonna go. Somebody's else gonna know. Gonna go in a few seconds.
What a great fight. They put on a show in our co-main event.
2 warriors going toe-to-toe for 8 rounds at a high pace. Great stuff. What a co-main event.
I wouldn't mind seeing 8 more like that.
I don't know if these guys are having it in them.
Yeah, these guys deserve a rest.
Not immediately. They deserve some rest, like you said.
Bring them back for ProBox, though. Bring them back.
Amen.
And I mean, great stuff. Back and forth throughout. High-level technique, high-level intensity and effort from both men. Kept saying it O versus O. Neither man wants to. Neither man knows how to lose and didn't want to let that O go. Great stuff. 2 warriors back and forth throughout. But it just seems as the fight we're on that Moreno was able to separate himself by being a little more consistent, making the right adjustments, and keeping up with his conditioning. I mean, his conditioning was very impressive tonight. In the 8th round, it looked like the 1st round in terms of his output and his intensity. Really, it was after the 6th round. You saw a big shot there from Melendez in round number 6. But after that, you saw a little bit of separation as Moreno was able to really step on the gas pedal, push the pace that much more. Very curious to see how these judges have it. But, you know, when you got 2 guys that are putting out that much effort at that kind of pace, it's hard to see who's actually separating enough to win the rounds.
In the hands of the judges now. Fans absolutely loved it, justifiably so. The scorecards are in. Spectacular co-main event. With the official decision, Jim Sorensen.
Ladies and gentlemen, 8 fast and furious, hard-fought rounds of boxing action brings us to the judge's decision. Judge Shami Shipman scores the bout 78-74. Judges Efren LeBron and Tito Wilgo score the bout 77-75. For your unanimous decision victor, Emiliano La Revolucion Moreno!
He is now 9-0 prior to his 19th birthday.
And you know what, Goldie, it probably came down to that last round, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's 277, 75 cards. I assume both of those cards gave one in on the last round. Moreno seemed to have edge of the last round. And otherwise, if you hadn't won that last round, it would have ended up being a majority draw. Majority draw, yeah.
Yep, majority draw.
Wouldn't mind seeing it again. Both of them put on a tremendous show here on your boxing channel, ProBox TV. Still to come, our main event of the evening. It is Picazo and Cardenas. It's Nacho and Joel Diaz. This is your boxing channel. Main event coming up next. Just another typical Wednesday night of fights on a Friday night with my powerful partners, the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi, Chris Algieri. What a co-main event we just saw. What a main event we expect. And a lot of great things going on in the world of boxing right now, including two men, like many, who don't like each other very much. Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, I tell you, if they signed that one came out of nowhere. That signing came out of nowhere just when you thought that was kind of lost. You know, Devin Haney told Ryan Garcia never to mention his name again when it looked like Ryan was going to go in another direction. But they go head-to-head. An amateur rivalry is reborn and revived in the pro game.
Next thing you know, the fight's signed. A couple days later, there's video of them arguing and pushing each other. All is right in the world of boxing.
You know, we had Glenn and
back
Apochi,
to normal.
Yeah.
And now, things
back to business as usual
again. We have got some pre-fight storylines. Here's more on Haney Garcia.
Listen, I mean, Garcia has a puncher's chance. You know, he can punch. He has a little bit of speed. He can land. But, man, Haney gives you nothing. You have to learn how to create against Haney. Haney knows how to create using just his athleticism. As a matter of fact, if you're a dangerous puncher, which I feel like for all the flaws Ryan Garcia has, he's a dangerous puncher. Haney can easily fight you in a safe manner.
You know, I got this fight clearly win.
So he's being passed around like the bee. He's like a doorknob. He's like a doorknob. He's like a doorknob. Everybody gets a turn.
Everybody gonna get a turn, my guy. Everybody gonna get a turn.
Well, Haney is smart. Well, Bill is very smart because he's getting him before he's washed up and used up. Because listen, this fight makes total sense.
Well, Bill would know.
I wasn't surprised at all. I think that this was going to be the fight no matter what. This was always in the game plan. You know, you mentioned the way that he's able to walk guys down and kind of cook them over rounds. You ever heard that saying where if you boil a frog slowly, it doesn't realize it's being boiled until it's too late?
Yeah.
That's how Haney fights guys. You don't realize you're getting cooked, and then it's too late because he keeps picking it up.
Well, when you fight Ryan Garcia, all you got to do is hold the phone. Yeah. That's it. Hold the phone.
That's the only thing coming at you.
That's it.
And punch to where his head is at because it's not moving.
It's a wrap. You can beat him.
All right, here are the odds brought to you by our title sponsor, sportsbetting.ag. for our main event of the evening. Minus 150, Picazo, and Cardenas, 23-1, a plus 120.
I wonder if Joel Diaz knows this. The way Joel Diaz described it, he didn't think it was going to be that difficult.
I was thinking the same thing.
Close odds.
Our tail of the tape for this, our main event of the evening. Cardenas, 3 years the elder of his opponent. Picazo, 3 inches taller. He will enjoy a 3-inch reach advantage. Joel Diaz with Cardenas. Ronnie Cantu also in his corner. We met Ronnie, of course, with Kendo Tremendo Castaneda and Nacho Berenstein in the corner of Picazo his entire professional career. It is for the Feckerbox Super Bantamweight title by the WBC, and once again, Jim Sorensen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for, our main event of the evening. Folks, this bout is scheduled for 10 rounds in the Super Bantamweight division, and the winner will be crowned the new WBC Feckerbox Super Bantamweight champion. Now, before we get started, let's introduce our judges: James O'Connor, Efren LeBron, and Tito Wilgo. And the referee in charge, Christopher Young. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the white and red trunks, weighing in at 122 pounds, his record, 23 wins, 1 loss with 12 wins by knockout. From San Antonio, Texas, please welcome Ramon Dinamita Cardenas. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the pink and white, weighing in at 121.4 pounds, his record, 30 wins, 5 losses with 20 big wins by knockout. From Zacatelco, Tlaxcala, Mexico, give a hand to Israel Rodriguez Picazo.
Okay, Jimmy, everything up here I'm gonna say illegal. Everything up here is illegal. Jimmy, you know what time it is for the WBC title. You fight hard, fight clean, touch him up.
Picazo.
Cardenas.
Yes, indeed. Ramon idolizes Juan Manuel Marquez, thus the nickname. He said in the fighter meetings, I'll do business first and then meet the great. Here we go. It's time to fight our main event of the evening. Pink and white trunks for Picazo, white and red for Cardenas.
He's looking to start fast, man.
Oh, man, Picazo looks laser focused. Both these guys understand what's on the line here. This is a huge platform with big implications for them moving forward.
There's already been talk from Picazo about a potential matchup for the WBC title against the Monster. In a way, but as we mentioned with Joel Diaz, Cardenas is in the way right here, right now in our main event. 23-1 with 12 finishes, 30 wins, 20 of them by knockout for 25-year-old Israel Rodriguez Picazo.
Whipping body shots there by Picazo.
His 5 career losses came in his first 10 professional fights. He comes in tonight riding a 15-fight win streak, finishing 12 of those victories.
Picazo is throwing nothing but bombs.
Yeah. A little bit wide, though, and then it's going to be an opportunity for Cardenas to punch in between them if he gets the timing a little bit.
Cardenas is a very slick counterpuncher. He moves well, he punches off his movement, and he's got a good left hook, which you just saw. Both guys do, actually.
walking Picazo down now, but allowing him to turn the corner, not cutting off the ring. That makes such a big difference when you allow the guy to turn the corner like that.
You're giving an escape route.
Yeah, not enough guys cut the ring off. I tell you, it's really
a lost start.
Yeah, a lost start. One of those frustrating things to watch when you can see the way the fight could evolve for a certain fighter who's trying to pressure.
11 straight victories for Cardenas. Finishes in 5 of those 11 wins.
I like what Cardenas is doing. I mean, he's fighting at more pressure than I've seen him in the past. He normally moves a little more sideways, but he's pressuring the power puncher.
I think he made that adjustment after the first half of the round.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, you saw Picazo come out so fast. Figured maybe if I put him on the back foot, because you see when you don't put Picazo on the back foot, you see what he does.
Yeah, and also when you got longer guys, going backwards can be very dangerous. Those looping shots catch you on the end of the punch. They're actually a lot more powerful.
Yeah, and it's harder to see those, exactly. Awkward shots, difficult to time.
ProBox TV debut for both men.
Interesting start for both these guys, both fighting in different manners than I would expect.
Doesn't make any adjustments here. If Cardenas doesn't make any adjustments, he's not going to forgive himself because Picazo is able to get off punches because he's longer, and Cardenas is just following him around, not able to get off the punches because he can't find range.
Lo ganaste, flaco, pero no cabeceas después de... Ahorita te cascó un putazo, güey. Vivo. ¿Cómo lo sientes? ¿Está duro? Bueno.
Nacho in the corner of Picazo. Nacho Berenstein has been with him his entire professional career. Picazo turned pro at age 17. First time together for Joel Diaz and Ramon Cardenas. Another night of 2 of the best boxing trainers in the business. And the corners here on ProBox TV.
You can see the heavy-handedness of Picazo. He's got big bombs, like you said, champ. They're wide, but they land heavy.
Yeah, and again, he throws them in awkwardly as well.
Classic Mexican-style puncher. Cardenas is just following him right now. Cutting off. Ooh, good cut off with a right hand there, but not using his feet to cut off the ring. See, that's that sharp counter-punching ability that Cardenas has that makes him very, very dangerous. We saw it in a flash there. Also, probably why Joel Diaz is so confident in his man tonight.
Joel Diaz joined us earlier, said I have a very busy gym, but he earned his spot. Drove from San Antonio, was in California for 4 or 5 days for what was a tryout, if you will. And here he is tonight with Diaz in his corner. 28th, we're back to Wednesdays, and it's Poldo and Medueno in our main event of the evening.
There's going to be opportunities for Cardenas to get that left hook in because his is a little shorter than the wider shots that Picazo throws. Let's see if he can time it.
Can he make Picazo walk back towards it? Because Picazo's been comfortably moving to the left. I think he even realized he wants to stay away from the left hook.
And Nacho saw Picazo at age 17 and invited him to the team. Picazo never stopped when the distance and all 5 of the setbacks that I mentioned were early on in his career. It's been 4 years and 10 months since Picazo has been defeated. 6 years and 9 months since Cardenas has lost.
Yeah, I was going to say, these guys are both on a good streak, and the level of opposition has not been soft on that streak.
Ooh, beautiful straight right hand from Cardenas. That was a really clever shot. Caught Picazo on the way out, and instead of throwing it upstairs, he threw it down low. Beautiful straight right hand right to the rib cage.
And Ramon's last fight was against Rafael Pedroza, who was 15-0. And he scored the knockout in round number 2.
I'm surprised that Cardenas has allowed Picazo to plant those feet and throw these bombs the way he has. Because Picazo's not hiding them.
Good combination.
Trata de a huevo cabecear, flaco. A huevo trata de hacerlo. Aunque sueltes un putazo, luego te viras y síguelo llaveando. ¿Eh? Vivo.
Ok.
Since age 17, he has been with that man, Nacho Berenstein.
Ahora sí, nada más cabecea, flaco.
Both men scoring.
Yeah, Cardenas is picking up a little bit. He's been coming forward all night, but he's been allowing Picazo to get off with big shots like this. A lot of them are getting caught on the gloves, not much getting through, but still a lot of the work being done by Picazo.
Joel Diaz said when this young man got out of the car from San Antonio, he didn't know who he was, but when he saw him work, he had very good defense, movement, power in both hands. He said, show me something, and he did. Explosive, relentless, accurate. Said he worked out his flaws, and he has that anger.
You know what I like that Joel said is discipline. Yeah, that's something I really look for in these young fighters today, because everybody's good, everybody's talented, everybody's fast, everybody can punch, but that discipline really is what pays off down the line.
He listens very well, disciplined, and they have elevated his volume and his accuracy.
Well, that's the thing, man. If he keeps allowing Picazo to turn that corner, his volume is going to stay diminished by design from Picazo, because he's not going to be able to get in range to throw those punches. I think Cardenas would fight more this fight. I think he would throw more combinations. He's got some sharp shots when he gets in range, but his inability to always be in range is due to the fact that Picazo is able to turn the corner and keep him at bay with his longer arms at times, like right there.
Ooh, nice short right hand. Picazo actually shortened one up.
Yeah, but you see what happens when Cardenas gets close. There's exchanges, there's punches fired.
Midway point of round number 3, main event scheduled for 10.
The question is, we're in 3, before 10. Will Cardenas realize that he can actually prevent Picazo from going to the left all the time? There, and look what happens when he gets him to stop. You see where Picazo goes. The safe route out is to the left, and he's able to escape.
To his left, yep.
Yeah, to his left, yep.
Good instruction from Joel Diaz in the corner. He said, I need you to pick it up. When he throws those wide shots, catch him on the elbows and come back with your own punches up the middle. We haven't seen that yet from Cardenas, so I know he can do it. I've seen it in past fights, but he has not been able to get off yet on the combinations of Picazo. When you got a guy like Picazo, when you're allowing him to let off with combinations, he's just going to keep those hands flying.
Yeah, but you can see the shorter punches are from Cardenas. The more class is from Cardenas, actually. The more natural ability, even sharper, cleaner. You can see the things Joel Diaz was talking about earlier tonight when he was talking about it. It's just, again, you got to find the range with your feet. And the inability to close that range properly gives Picazo these opportunities right there that you just saw when he just landed that hook.
But it's hard for judges to pick against the guy who's letting his hands go, even when they're landing on the gloves. If you're throwing more punches and you're landing on the body, it's hard to score against that guy.
Unless it's me fighting Andrew Broner, then it's okay.
Dig down low.
Nacho in one corner. Of course, train the Hall of Famer, our partner here at ProBox TV.
But I need you a little bit
Juan Manuel Marquez.
Be more effective with your punches, okay?
Then you got Ramon, whose idol is Juan Manuel.
You're applying pressure, but that doesn't mean shit.
Coaches have
I need you to be more
before.
effective. Start doing damage, okay? Yes, sir. Start doing damage with your work. Go, get some water.
Tira mucho ya, flaco. Tira mucho ya, flaco.
Looking for a lot of jabs.
Estás bajando las manos cuando te agachas al cabecear.
Set up those big shots as our main event continues. Ramon's father played soccer at a very high level. Ramon, also a very good soccer player. In the end, though, he found out he's a pretty darn good boxer as well. 23-1. White and red for Cardenas and Picazo in the pink and white.
Got the mouthpiece here.
He came out throwing some hard right hands, too, like he was about to exchange with no mouthpiece.
Witness how that goes for a man with no mouthpiece. A few days back, Paulie. Not so well.
No. Once again, excellent corner advice from Joel Diaz, saying you've got to pick it up. You've got to go do damage. You're putting on pressure, but that doesn't mean shit. Excuse my explicative.
You were quoting.
I'm quoting.
Yes.
Right. Can't cancel me if I quote it.
And we're streaming, so it's okay. Well, not everywhere. Not everywhere. Rogers Sportsnet in Canada. Great hockey, great boxing. Looking for the body work.
There's that work from Cardenas. That's what Joel Diaz was calling for. Do damage with your work, he said. Nice.
And you just see, again, you see the class there of Cardenas when they're at close range, and you just get frustrated watching him because he could keep it this close if he cuts off the ring. And again, I'm beating on a dead horse here, but it's because the adjustment, excuse me, isn't made.
Besides the love of boxing for Cardenas, he said his main motivation to succeed in the sport is his father, who worked construction, raised him and his older brother and sister as a single parent.
Definitely been a good adjustment this round for Cardenas. He is answering back. He's doing what Joel Diaz wanted him to do. He's firing in between, throwing the sharper, cleaner punches, like you said, Champ. On the inside, you could definitely see the difference in how short his punches are.
Main event here on ProBox TV.
Oh, this the soccer player was Picazo's father or Cardenas' father?
Cardenas.
Oh, Cardenas. So a single father and he played soccer.
Yep, at a very high level.
It's a full life.
You got that right. Construction, soccer, 3 children. And I'll tell you, talking to Ramon, he is a very kind and well-spoken young man. Holds toy drives every Christmas. He said they gathered about 400 gifts this year to give to those in need in San Antonio.
Oh, that's awesome. Good round for Cardenas here. He has been very effective.
Maybe a few soccer balls and some boxing gloves.
Sure.
The uppercut.
Boom, clean short shot on the inside. Champ, you alluded to it.
Catch and shoot. Catch and shoot right there. Catch, shoot.
Oh, sneaky.
That is quintessential catch and shoot right there, Champ.
Nice stuff on the inside there from Cardenas. Definitely the sharper, cleaner puncher on that inside when he lets his hands go.
And
they're telling Picazo to go after him jabbing.
Pick up, remember? Picking up. Picking up with good shots. Hey, when you're inside, go here and go to the body. 2 steps back, go to the body with the right hand. Jab to the body. Be sneaky with the left hook. Boom, come on. Wake his ass up.
Need a little emotion from Joel.
Yeah, not enough there, right?
And our buddy Ronnie Cantu staying with Ramon from San Antonio. Of course, Ronnie, we met in our last chance tournament with Kendo Tremendo Castaneda, who lost in the finals to Antonio Moran, who we recently saw return to ProBox TV. Round 5, scheduled for 10.
Champ, you know the differences in Picazo now? It's one punch at a time. Because Cardenas has been able to cut him off and counter effectively.
Yeah, you force Picazo to fight, he's going to burn more gasoline because he can't keep you off any other way. He can't change range.
He's not allowed. He's not being allowed to unload with those huge shots like he was in the first 3 rounds.
And that's what Diaz said to us when he visited with us here ringside earlier. He said, if we stick to the game plan, this fight will not go the distance.
Well, you see it. You see when Cardenas is busy. You see what Joel was talking about. But he spent too many rounds not being busy and allowing Picazo to get off.
Yeah, and that was, again, because he couldn't find the range. And now I think the range is starting to be found more and more. You see Picazo's legs are a bit more tired, and he's not able to move around the ring the way he wants to.
Well, I mean, Picazo came out throwing bombs from the opening bell, which was surprising. He wasn't really setting anything up. He's acting like he was hitting a heavy bag. Oh, nice uppercut on the inside from Picazo.
Picazo, 35 pro fights at age 25. That one landed in a bad spot.
You could hear that one.
Yep.
See how low that actually was. Yep, you could hear the cup, actually, the leather on leather land. Those shots in the hip there really hurt. That's why we have actually hip protectors that cover the hip bone, because you could cause a lot of damage banging someone on the hip like that with a knuckle. This angle's gonna be harder to see. Oh, maybe not. No, let's see it. Oh yeah, that's in that angle, right in that hip, and that actually drives the cup into the groin. That and any punch that comes up and under are the most painful shots that are low.
You are doing a great Joe Rogan right now in explaining the damage that was just done. Now, if you can sell some of those metal Muay Thai protectors, then you might get a commission from Rogan.
I used to grow. I grew up wearing those too. Stainless steel Muay Thai cup.
I'm having these memories right now, Chris. You're nailing it.
Another former kickboxer turned commentator, podcaster.
Only difference is about $275 million.
Well, there's still time. He didn't make that till he was in his 50s. He's got some time.
That's a great point. I like the optimism. Chris Algieri.
Hell yeah. My story's far from over.
You got that right. Paulie Malignaggi, Chris Algieri, Mike Goldberg, 5th round of our main event.
This fight's far from over too, guys. He's got plenty of energy and they're rejuvenated.
Yeah, we're not even halfway through yet.
After a 5-minute break for the guys after a low blow.
Watch the back of it.
Oh, clash of heads.
Time.
Oh,
Time.
Ouch. Clash of heads. Let's see.
Yeah, we got a cut.
Accidental headbutt. There's a cut. Accidental headbutt. There's a cut.
Outside of the eye. No, it's eyebrow. Under the eyebrow.
Are you?
There it is right there. Boom. Bang, right there.
He's cut as well. Accidental cut.
They're both cut. Yeah, but it seems like Picazo's cut is in a worse place. Cardenas was bringing the right hand. The problem is, broke his head first.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that last fight. Can't lead with the head. Got to lead with the glove, the punch. Yeah, no, he's bleeding too.
Are you ready?
Okay. He's more on the side of the head, a little bit higher. Nonetheless, blood from both.
Scalp.
Yep. Rolling down the left side of the face of Ramon.
Well, this is important, because if we go to the scorecards, we have a technical decision, and they're going to score the fight up until this point, including this round.
And Picazo is fighting in that style right here, right now. He is pouring it on.
Nice counter left hook from Cardenas.
He's not really in anything clean. Picazo throwing, but he's shadowboxing. Look at that.
Woo! Big flurry from Israel Picazo.
Can the judges tell what's happening now? That's the thing.
Stop holding, okay? Box.
Picazo, between the 5-minute break and then the getting headbutted, he's really come alive here in the 5th.
Cardenas also throwing wide and missing. A lot of missing this round so far.
I think both guys understand the position. There, a good left hook.
See what happens when you shorten up your shots? They land.
10 seconds, Jimmy. Listen for the bell. 10 seconds.
Curious how that works.
Short hook fight Cardenas. Man.
They both came in accidental. I caught the low blow. I called the low blow, okay? All right.
See all the shots here by Picazo.
But the effective punches landed by Cardenas, actually. A lot of these punches are being rolled, partially blocked, or missing entirely.
But that's why you go to the body on a guy like Cardenas when he's slick on the ropes like that. Because on the body, well, even if you're landing on the arms, you can get some through the crevices, and you're hitting stuff. Right there, you go to the head, you actually make the defensive fighter look better because he's riding with the shots, he's making you miss. And then we didn't see in the replay, but Cardenas comes back and landed a couple of nice clean left hooks later in the round.
Yeah, those lead left hooks right down the right through the guard. Really nice short shots. Precise.
That fifth round will be an exhibit on how to score a round. We'll be curious how the judges will score that one.
Main event for the WBC ProBox Super Bantamweight title.
I think the scoring of this fight is going to be very interesting.
The cut suffered by Picazo is under the left eyebrow. The one suffered by Cardenas is on the left side of the head, rolling. The blood is rolling more towards his ear, so
yeah, that shouldn't be an issue.
No, but the one on Picazo could be.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to start early in these kinds of fights and bank rounds, because you never know what's going to happen. If you're going to go into a decision after 5 or 6 or 7 rounds, what happened early on still matters, and matters more.
And knowing the placement in which he was injured could very well be one of the reasons Picazo turned it up.
What a sharp right hand from Cardenas. Jeez. Picazo's got some chin.
But he still lets him turn the corner. I mean, he's been going in clockwise direction the whole round, Picazo. No cutting off the rim for Cardenas.
Picazo has never been stopped. And he has not lost in 1,771 days.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this is like watching a clock. I'm getting dizzy.
It looks like that pressure from Cardenas is starting to pay off. He's been coming forward since the first round, not throwing a lot, but now being much more precise and powerful with his shots.
Cardenas has not lost in 2,489 days. 11 straight for Ramon, 15 straight for Israel.
Goldie, you said you're not good with math, but you are good at numbers.
Thank you.
And a lot of blood from the mouth of Picazo. Also, doesn't look like he's able to close his mouth. Might have injured his jaw.
Timeanddate.com, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that jaw.
That jaw is
that looks a little funny.
Yeah,
He might have broke that jaw.
There's a real lump on the right side. Oof.
Yeah, that jaw.
Yeah.
He's not able to close it either, and he's been moving all around.
Yeah. You know what? Luckily for him, Cardenas isn't going to cut off the ring.
And
I'm going to keep beating this dead horse until Joel Diaz goes back to Palm Springs and works him to cut off the ring in between fights.
You alluded to that injury in our co-main event.
Yeah, opening your mouth.
The potential of it. Opening your mouth and getting caught.
Let him go, let him go.
That jaw is
Didn't expect to see it here.
10 seconds, man, 10 seconds.
It was that lead short right hand, I believe.
Yeah. It's going to be a problem here.
Yeah, that thing is swelling fast.
I know guys finish fights, but
I don't know. He's shaking his head. This might be him.
Why don't you take a look at it?
¿Le duele? Yeah. Oh dear, yes. We're done.
It is all over. The doctor, oh dear, yes. We are done. And the celebration for Ramon Cardenas.
what do you think, guys? Was that right hand? It was that big right hand I think we saw. Big win for Cardenas. And you know what? It's always nice when you can win and still see things that are improvements. I think if Cardenas becomes a fighter that knows how to cut off the ring, I mean, I think he's literally world championship material. He throws all the good right punches. His shot selection is impressive. His balance is impressive. This is a really good fighter.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was a very impressive performance. He had a very hungry guy in front of him, a guy who had never been stopped.
Yeah.
jaw's a mess, man. That thing is, I can see the teeth in the back. They're off.
It's a long way to come back from that injury, man. I'll tell you, that's gonna be. We go home. Everybody goes to sleep tonight. Wakes up tomorrow's a normal day. But for Picazo, it's gonna be months of recovery, man.
Oh yeah.
We saw that ride for Najee Lopez when he suffered the broken jaw in training.
Yeah, it's a frustrating, painful injury.
This looks like an exceptionally bad one, though. I can see his teeth are not on the same line.
That's why the jaw, the nurse said, the doctor said,
oh no, yeah, as soon as she looked at it, she go, oh my goodness, no, we're done.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you can see his jaw. Look at the teeth.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah, this poor guy, man.
Yeah,
can you even fly home with that injury? Can you fly?
Yeah.
Think you're not playing with the air pressure?
Different from the broken orbital, but I don't think it'll be a fun trip.
Actually, I was even to fly 2 days later after my orbital. They said
they didn't want me to fly.
I asked them, they said it wasn't a problem. But we had a very interesting fight. Both guys came out differently than expected from what we've seen in the past. Picazo came out very, very fast, was actually moving backward most of the time and firing long combinations. But then Cardenas started to pick it up on the inside, being implored by his corner, Joel Diaz, to throw more, to let those hands go on the inside. And more as Cardenas started to answer and pick up those combinations on the inside and short counters like that one. He was able to catch Picazo, one of which seemed to have snapped the jaw.
Yeah. And Samson Lekowicz, who works with Picazo, is asking us if it was a headbutt, but I don't think it was a headbutt.
I don't think so either.
It looks like it was the right hand from what we saw.
More and more, Cardenas was landing some clean, sharp punches. We saw that one right hand, but it might have actually even been before that. There was a left hook in there that looked very sharp as well.
Maybe at the end of that round, when Picazo missed all the shots and Cardenas landed a couple of those sharp left hooks.
As advertised, though, great fight. Our main event is now official, and for one last time, we get it to Jim Sorensen.
Blue corner, blue corner.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of action, Dr. Denise Griffin stops this bout. For your winner by technical knockout, and a new WBC Fecker Box champion, Ramon Dinamita Cardenas.
And now Ramon can proudly go meet the man he idolizes the most, our own Juan Manuel Marquez. Takes care of business and moves to 24-1 in his professional career. Ends the 15-fight win streak of Israel Picazo. We had some great fights tonight, 5 in all, but Chris and Paulie, you want to talk about picking up the pace, bringing it to the next level? How about the co-main? And then this we just saw, our main event of the evening.
We've been saying all week, for the past 2 weeks, this is a top to bottom good card. Even though we had our co-main event fall out, we moved up another fight, and it became almost one of the best fights on the card. So yeah, I mean that's how deep these cards are.
Yeah, and even interesting tidbits. You know, Joeshon James is an interesting prospect. You know, took on the veteran Vaughn Alexander, and you know, had his work cut out for him, but worked very hard. And I think in a fight where he learned some lessons, he also got a key victory, and he continues to move in a positive direction in his career. You know, the
Apochi fight.
The Apochi fight was a lot of fireworks in the fight, and then also
the extracurriculars after the fight.
Absolutely, you know. And then the co-main event, like you just said, champ. You know, the 2 prospects, somebody's all had to go, and it was really, really competitive. It came down to the last round. You know, really did come down to the last round, as the scorecards showed. And of course here, Cardenas and Picazo, a fight we were really anticipating. 2 guys who were on a tear in their careers that really had a lot of momentum behind them. Picazo stopped for the first time in his career by Cardenas. Very impressive victory by Cardenas, and I'll tell you, I feel like he can be even better.
Oh yeah,
that's the impressive thing about the win tonight. You get a win, and there's actually a more upside for Cardenas. This kid really has a lot of potential.
We will be back to our Wednesdays, February 28th. Wednesday night fights brought to you by sportsbetting.ag. Our main event, 17-1 Justin Poldo against former world title contender 30-2 Miguel Madueno. Plus, Najee Lopez puts his unbeaten record on the line. The Black Buffalo, Muhammad Samaro. That is all, February 28th. And then our Wednesdays in March will deliver, as always. What a night of fights. Fun to say the least. And I don't know how far in advance our main events are scheduled, but Glenn Apochi too. I'm already ready for that one, Paulie.
Both guys are ready for it. You know? Yeah. Glenn mentioned it during the fight, and then Apochi's team came to us after the fight and said, yo, that's the guy we want next. And you know what? Based on their first fight, a split decision. Yeah. I think everybody wanted next. It was one of the better fights of that year.
Brandon came and talked to us after, Chris. He goes, Apochi doesn't realize how nice and kind and generous I was during the commentary.
Yeah, we said that. We had him at the table, Brandon Gunn, and he was saying he was looking for bigger things. But listen, after that scuffle they had in the ring, all that needs to happen now is Brandon call up his boss and be like, "Hey man, let's get this fight going."
Yeah.
They're both regulars on ProBox TV now.
Oh yeah.
And it would be fun to have that one. But I'll tell you what, the co-main, the main, they attacked, they delivered. And another Friday night of Wednesday night fights is in the books. Robert Meriwether III remains unbeaten, as does Joeshon James. We talked about Apochi with the victory tonight. Will we see him and Glatton again? He certainly looked good with his finish, coming off the shoulder surgery. Then Moreno and Cardenas for my powerful partners, Paulie Malignaggi and Chris Algieri. Mike Goldberg saying so long until next time. We see you right back here on ProBox TV.